We're back.
I like it. It's so smooth, man.
How's it going, man? You right?
Yeah. How are you?
Well, I'm guessing like for the rest of we're talking about the male demographic here, where the restriction of what can be accessed on the internet now we have to put our proof of ID. We're talking about porn here. Yes, a lot of men. I'm not talking about me. I'm fine. I'm talking about men here can't access porn. Not just that hidden, but now, like me and the missus, we like to. Don't worry, it's fine. It'll be PG-13. Don't worry. We like a bit of like serial killer documentaries, but now you may have to put your ID just to access that. This is how stupid it's got, mate. Yeah. So I understand a lot of people kind of on, getting their head down.
It was put in to protect the children. So
is it though?
No, it's not. But
no, of course, yeah.
I suppose with everything going on the internet that's aimed at kids, they got to be trying to do something. It's not working, but they're gonna try and do something.
Yeah,
the only way to do anything is we as parents have to educate our children, and obviously we can't see everywhere they're going, but we got to try and educate their children and try and keep a little eye on it. Remember that great TV show Adolescence that pointed that shined the spotlight on these kind of behaviors. Just because they're in their bedrooms on the computer don't mean they're safe.
Yeah.
So I just believe in I just believe in a solid education, and thank God that thank God that programs like Adolescence was made to shine a spotlight on the problem, what's going on. And I was as clueless. Did you see that program?
I've heard about it. I've seen clips. I can't show any clips because I know people get copyrighted for it. But it's very on point today, isn't it? If I remember.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because one of the things that I learned through watching that was because when the police officer, I think it's Ashley Walters, his character, he plays a cop in the movie, in this TV show. Well, his character, when he saw the red pills, he went like me, and he was thinking it was the Matrix. And then his 15-year-old son or 14-year-old son had to explain actually what red pilling meant, and that blew my mind, because I didn't know that these different like the hearts, the different color hearts, they mean something. I didn't know that. I just thought, oh, I fancy a purple heart today. Put that on. You know what I mean?
Oh, right.
I didn't know that.
I understand the point of view, like protection of children, and I've talked about in depth about Bob Lazar. Don't start, mate, with that rocket.
Rocket the
moon. but I've talked to a lot of detail what's on the internet, the bad side. So in one respect, and obviously the people in the chat, protect the children, but I think the parents need to be more on point, proactive on this. There are also horrendous stuff. I mean, when I was talking about, I was on the podcast and we were talking about basically the state of pornography, because it's gone from 1970s, porn stash, probably a bit of intercourse for about 10 minutes, like a pizza delivery sort of thing, now until we're in 2025, where it's okay for, a girl that looks like 12 years old to get absolutely blasted by, 10 black men or something like that. And that's socially acceptable now. We've gone from one extreme to the other, not saying it like a demographic wise, but I'm saying that is what porn now is. It's one extreme to the other. It's crazy. So in one aspect, I totally understand what people are coming from, but I think, why is it affecting me? So there's two ways you can look at it, but I think a lot of people are just, especially the men, are just pissed off. They can't access porn without selling your data, basically. But anyway, we're not talking about that. But I understand this is like the current situation, because it's, like I said, it's not just porn. It's going to be like, for instance, like serial killer stuff, or even like Reddit as well. Reddit, now you have to put your old flipping ID for that.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not joking. This is how ridiculous it's got.
It's probably because I'm in Reddit, because I haven't had to do that yet.
Don't worry, it'll come, mate. It'll come. So hello to everyone in chat.
Maybe I'm not in them sites, because I know Reddit has 18+ sites. So,
sure.
And I don't venture there because I've got no need to go there.
It's a bit of a cesspool, isn't it? I have to admit. I have to admit.
Well,
This,
it
no, I want to
depends.
say who we got in chat then. So obviously we got good old Rebecca.
We're getting there, mate. We're getting there.
Yeah, don't worry. So yeah, sometimes we go off topic. Don't worry, that's my fault on that one. But yeah. Should we get into this UFO sighting that happened in 2016? Because my God,
I'll try and get
what a rabbit hole. So what was Black Dot? How's it going? And to everyone in chat, nice to see everyone. Yeah, well, the idea, what we wanted to do was like a top 5 UFO sightings in Wales, specifically in Wales. And then a lot of people in chat were saying, oh, you need to check out this sighting, check out this sighting. And eventually I came to hidden. I'm just going to bring up the photograph. Right. Oh, have I got that? Hold on. No. Okay. Bring this up. This is the thumbnail for today's show, obviously. Am I? Moody, fine. Oh God, a Bonnie Blue reference. Must be found out about it related to Bonnie Blue Creed incident. I bloody hope not. Flipping now. Worth a ride if it was offered.
Just before you go, I want to say something about Bonnie Blue. I mean, it's insane how mainstream she's gone now. Do you know Channel 4 just dropped a documentary about her?
Yeah, exactly. This is what I mean. It's like socially acceptable. It's kind
insane.
Of like. Yeah, no, we live in an insane world. This is what I mean. So yeah, I understand protect the children. But anyway, we're going back to this. But no, I'm fine, Moody. I'm all good. Yes, I've been told by Hidden that sometimes I get triggered. It's fine. It's all good. It's all right. I understand when I see people's faces. But yeah, it's all about this UFO sighting. I forgot to get the actual proper photograph of it, of this animated thumbnail here. But yeah, this is the Pentyrch. Please tell me if I said that right or wrong. The Pentyrch UFO incident of 2016. And I have to admit, my God, when I looked into this, wow, I was so surprised. What a deep rabbit hole. Because it is a massive case that not a lot of people have. Well, yeah, UFO channels have looked into it, but it's so how incredible this case is. And obviously the witnesses we'll be showing later. It makes you go, oh, hold on a minute, this is something to this. So I guess this could be the UK's Roswell. Correct pronunciation. Thank you, Sophia. Nice to see you. And yeah, love your time lapse, darling. Keep going. Okay. Oh, I've got to check the alien ad. Oh, Rebecca, I sent you my personal one to send it to me. The next one. But yeah, I'll go check that out 100%. So yeah, this Pentyrch UFO. Pentyrch. We'll do Pentyrch. Pentyrch. It's the Y in it, Moody. The Y confuses me. Okay, Pentyrch. Okay, got it right. So yeah, this case is immensely fascinating. We're going to go through it, go through everything, and it's going to be a lot of videos. Well, a few videos I'll bring out because the eyewitness testimony from one of the ladies, well, actually the primarily source of this. I shouldn't have 420 before the show. I'm screwing up. I've got to read as well. Her name is Caz Clark. And her testimony is immensely fascinating. So should we begin? Should we begin, Hidden? Let's do this. Let me bring my notes up. Indeed. Okay.
Have you got the AI to read it?
Actually, I managed to get that to a T now. So yeah, let me just drink my iced coffee.
My tea?
I got tea and coffee. I love iced coffee. It's one of my favorites.
I'll say hello to Haggis73. I haven't seen you in here before, so thanks for popping in.
Oh, I think you've seen you about, mate. I think you've seen you about. Yeah, nice to see you. Welcome on in.
I haven't noticed it, but hey. Okay, go on.
Right, okay. All right.
Sorry.
So yeah.
Sorry.
Let's have a little look. Okay. Let's get my notes. Hey, won't you Saxon? How's it going, man? Nice to see you. You're smoking
Skittles. The Skittles cake, is that a cross between birthday cake? A cross with birthday cake and Skittles. I love Skittles. They shouldn't do that with the birthday cake. Skittles on its own.
I've had Skittles before. I'm talking about that sort of thing you smoke, and I don't really like it. But anyway, not talking about that. We're talking about this amazing UFO cave. Maybe this UFO sighting was actually looking for Skittle weed. Anyway, so let's get on with this. So this was called the Pentyrch UFO sighting of 2016. This incident refers to a highly unusual event reported in Pentyrch, which is northwest of Cardiff. On the early morning of the 26th of November 2016, a witness named Caz Clark described seeing a massive pyramid or triangular-shaped light formation hovering over a field behind her home. So basically, she saw swirling orbs and extraordinary electromagnetic anomalies. That's the first AI I've used for everything else. Everything else I'm going to say right now is all done by me and not AI. Okay. So in the beginning, so on the early hours of the morning of February the 26th of February, can I start that again? Because I have no idea what I was talking about. On the early hours of the morning of Friday, the 26th of February 2016, in a small town called Pentyrch in the Wales, located off the outskirts of Welsh capital. I ballsed that up when I wrote that down. But something rocked the town in this area of Pentyrch. This is quite... it's like a very, very small little village. Anyone in Wales who knows about Pentyrch area at all? I think it's like a small little village cottage. It's yeah, kind of like a really nice area, basically. So 2 seconds, just 2 seconds. I've got to shut the door. Hold on. Sorry. So my cat can open up doors and he never shuts it. So, so yeah, in the morning. So the events began where residents started complaining on social media that the town folks keep on hearing military helicopters circling around the town around about 2 o'clock in the morning. And some reports of the helicopters landing in local common areas, and others complaining of the noise coming from several helicopters lasting for hours. So this was around about the time period from 2 a.m. onwards. Okay, through that time frame there for you guys. Okay, so at this point, residents became quite aware of the sheer amount of military vehicles present on the scene, and some people became quite concerned and eventually called the police. Now, some of the recordings of the residents to the police have been released due to Freedom of Information Act, and like I couldn't really find anything that I could find that would be shown worthy of. But I've got a few quotes here actually.
I did come across that. There was nothing released on the Freedom of Information Act because they said they didn't have it. You have to write somewhere else.
Yes, yeah.
And they were very apologetic. I saw that.
Mm. So I would have shown it, guys, if Pentyrch, not Pentyrch. No, I'm getting a bit confused with that one. No, Pentyrch is where Caz lived. But anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. So basically, at this time period, people were calling into the police, and this is actually one caller saying, "I'm concerned there is a helicopter flying very low. It has come around my house around about 7 to 8 times. It is not like a police helicopter. It's a big double engine one. So these are like these massive military helicopters, and they do make a hell of a sound. Anybody heard like a military helicopter flying over? It's completely different to like a police helicopter.
Yeah. They make you stop and look up. They're that loud.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a very distinct sound. And another resident said the helicopter is causing my house to shake. Something that Bonnie Blue would do. Wink, no nudge. A local town was not acting like their normal self at this time. According to the police reports in town, the town's residents were very calm and collective. Obviously, it's a very small village. I mean, I live in a village, and people are very sort of calm and collective. It's just where it is, but it's just. You're out of town. You don't have the stress of like city life, basically. So everything's like nice and relaxed. So the police were saying a lot of the residents are very distressed over this matter. But we'll get to that in a minute. Eventually, the residents of Pentyrch heard like a massive explosion and basically startled the town folks. And eventually, the events quieted down around about 4 o'clock. So it was around about a 2-hour time period. And then eventually, don't worry, we'll get to Caz in a minute. So this is basically what's happened the day after. People of the town folks of Pentyrch, or Pentyrch, or what you want to call it, basically flocked to local TV outlets and social media trying to find out what was happening in the early hours in the morning. And the official explanation for the explosion in the military helicopters and vehicles, and even shutting down of roads, was to do with a training drill, a training exercise. And this events were taking place in obviously in Pentyrch. Was, like I said, it was a military exercise. That was conducted by the Royal Air Force and British Army. And this statement was given by the military the day after. And the quote was, "This is a biannual training package known as Operation Chameleon." This is, like I said, this is the official explanation of this. So yeah, they heard the explosion, they flocked to social media and training exercise, and then we get to Caz. Now, Caz is the main witness of the triangular objects that she saw. So the resident of Pentyrch, so this is 6 miles away from Pentyrch, if I'm saying that right. So yeah, she was a resident of Pentyrch who came forward, called Caz Clark, who is here. Pentyrch is a village located 6 miles from Pentyrch, whatever you want to call it. I'm screwing up my words at the moment. And at that time, she suffered sleepless nights, because what people don't realize is that the events actually happened a couple of days beforehand. We'll get to that in a minute. And she, after the event, Caz came forward and she said in, I believe it was Wales Online website, saying, "I can categorically state that this was not an exercise." All right, definitely not an exercise. And she further stated that she saw absolutely everything, according to Caz right here. Because of the, oh my God, I screwed the words up. I wrote this so fast, I've actually got the words wrong in this one. Okay. So Caz comments right here was actually deleted by Wales Online. And this was basically a screenshot that someone actually taken and re-uploaded, so that she was the only one that came forward and told what she saw that day.
Should I read it?
I can do this, mate. No worries. Thanks for sharing this, but I can categorically state that this was not an exercise. Last night, I saw absolutely everything, and what they were chasing was not planes. I'll take a lie detector test anywhere, and I'll take a lie detector test anywhere for anyone, but what I witnessed last night will stay for me for the rest of my life. What is more, the military knew they were coming and had a spotting plane in the area for 2 days waiting for the event. When it came for, oh my God, when it came 4 planes chasing a green object, whilst the spotter plane circled approximately 6 red, I screwed that word up, 6 red oval objects, which, don't judge my reading, which formed a pyramid shape. Several red spheres hovered slightly over the fields until the helicopters came. I should have never 420 before the show. This, I stay on target. This is the problem. I knew this was going to happen. When I got Stardog, it did something to me, man. Hey, Stephen England, nice to see you. Did you hear me balls up? That fucking, sorry, I swore, PG-13. Yeah, I screwed that right one up. So basically what she's saying, she saw this triangular shape in it was basically these orbs in this triangular shape. She wasn't too sure if it was whether or not it was one craft. And eventually these orange to green balls came out, and then it almost looked like cylindrical.
Spheres.
Whatever, we get to that. Spheres, yeah, that's the bloody word. I can't remember. Yeah. So yes. God damn it. So yeah, Caz came forward on the Welsh online news website, and her comment was deleted. And so she was very, very vocal about what she saw on that day of February the 26th, 2016. Oh my God, if I got to read more. Okay, so one thing that people don't realize, Pentyrch is pronounced Pentyrch. There is no Penrick or Pentyrch. The explosion happened above Okay, this honestly, this is the problem when you I honestly did so much research into this for the past week, and I think people were getting confused by the names because I was getting confused. I was like, "Is it Pentyrch or Pentyrch?"
We haven't even got to the explosions yet.
Yeah, yeah. Don't worry. We'll get to
there.
like
we'll get there. We'll get there.
So a lot of people don't realize there's actually an MOD place that's not too far from the village itself.
I was just going to say though, Dino, stay with us because you seem to know a bit about this, like everybody else. So if there's anything that we're missing, let us know. But
yeah,
because we got to tell the story. We can't jump here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, thank you, Hidden. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, just give me a chance.
Well, thank you for your help, man.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah, but any input, guys, would be much appreciated. But let's just get through the story first, the best that I can. So yes, at this point, yes, there was a lot of helicopters flying about. I mean, I'm talking about a lot, and events. A lot of people in the residents were complaining about these helicopters. There'd be like one or two, and eventually there was like 7 of them. Like these are like these big ones, because you can imagine the noise in the area of this village. Yeah, at this point, oh man, I screwed this one up. Hold on, train and drill.
That looks like a spy plane. Is that the spotter plane that they had up?
Yeah. Sorry, mate. Yeah, I screwed up my Hold on 2 seconds.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I tell you what.
Thank you, Dino. Lan Tris Ant.
Yes, Ant. So all these Welsh names. Love Wales, beautiful place.
It is, but the names, man.
I know you got a lot of Z's and like T's and K's. I'm like, what's going on?
I don't know what they got, but I find it difficult to pronounce it, even when I'm there. Where did you go on holiday? So.
Okay, I tell you what. To make it easier for me, because I'm kind of like screwing everything up with my script. I'm really looking through it, and I've really rushed it. And I've tried to fill in so much information. I think a lot of it's not making sense. So I'm just going to go really quickly about Caz Clark, which is the...
Should I make a suggestion then? To like maybe, because you got your notes there, they're just jumbled up a bit, yeah? Should we watch a video? Do you have a...
Yeah, let me just get a brief background of what Caz saw. So basically, this is the location of where she saw the sighting itself. And what happened, she was hearing this helicopters flying about. And eventually her neighbor called Dave came out with her. And there was so much activity going around in the area. And eventually both of them, so Caz and Dave, were at the same location right here. And this is where she saw, basically, I can go back to my notes.
That sounded similar. That sounded similar to a cheeky Cockney act, Caz and Dave.
Caz and Dave, isn't it?
Wasn't there one called Caz and Dave? All right, that's it.
No, that's cool, man. That's cool. So yeah, Caz and Dave kept on being awakened in the early hours, and he wanted to go investigate to see what was going on. And they witnessed this flying over, which was this aircraft. This is a spy plane, but it's more specifically to do with tracking radar systems. Basically, giving like more or less like a 3D effect on what. Hey, how's it going? Planetary.
You're doing a good job protecting the planet. I'll tell you what, that earthquake today would have been twice as bad if it wasn't for this dude. Saved the Pacific. We got a lot to thank this guy for. So don't you know about the earthquake? No. That happened out in the ocean.
No.
Yeah.
All right, I'll look that up in a minute. All right. Oh God, it was a bad one.
Japan, Hawaii. They were taking precautions. Tsunami warnings were issued for the Pacific.
Oh geez. All right. Well, thoughts and prayers, guys.
I think it was the 6th. No, it's done now. It was the 6th biggest earthquake recorded at sea.
Really? Bloody hell. Okay. Well, at least everyone's safe. That's the main thing. So yeah, at the time when they were basically at this gate and they were looking up and they saw this aircraft. Basically, so so the moon illuminated the light source that resembles like a mushroom on the back of this plane. This aircraft this is what's called a E3 Century experimental plane that was airborne. Basically, has got like a warning system and a detective rotating radar dome that's above it, the fuselage. So right here, okay. So this is what they saw in the sky circling. It was basically doing the circles. And this is where we need to get into the videos.
Just want to say it was an 8.7. Corbell's Cats said it was an 8.7.
Oh, 8.7.
And it was the sixth biggest recorded today. Pretty huge earthquake. They did say what plates it was.
Okay. Bloody hell.
I think the evacuation even went to Hawaii as well. I know Japan, they were worried because of obviously Fukushima again.
Oh, right. Bloody hell. Yeah, well, at least everyone's safe. I'm not going to read anymore because I knew this was going to happen. I'm going to bring Jenny up. Jenny's my my AI voice generator that I use for Alien Addict. And she would be making an appearance back. And she's dirtier than ever. I might call it body blue. But anyway, this is a really good podcast. And I think it is worth shouting out this podcast called... can we do that, Hidden, or not?
Yeah.
No.
We're using their stuff, fair enough.
Yeah. This is it, because copyrights are a bit of a...
How big are they? Okay, that's cool.
So this is called the Central Club, and this is actually an interview with Caz herself. Now, she's going to go through everything that day, and there's a few things that is just immensely bizarre. So sit back and relax as we're going to go into Caz's testimony, because she goes in detail here, and she's going to do a better job than I am at this point. Let's do this.
You might be able to pronounce them right. No, I ain't ragging on you because I can't pronounce stuff.
Oh, mate, no, I'm terrible. I'm awful reading.
Oh, that is cool. That is cool. I'm with you, Moody. Your AI should have the voice of Christopher Walken. Oh, that would be so awesome.
Yeah, mate.
Awesome.
But that we'll see what we can do. So, that sounds like it'll cost money, but nevertheless, this is Caz, and this is her testimony.
It kept people's children awake, disturbed their livestock. When they had to get up for work the next morning, everyone will remember hundreds of people called the police that night. This was not a military exercise, and we can actually prove that the mainstream media lied about this case and covered it up.
Great. I'm really looking forward to getting into this one. We've got some photos, we've got some video evidence. So we're going to dive into this. First thing I want to do is, Caz, who was you before the 26th of February, 2016?
Oh my God, I certainly didn't believe in UFOs.
Okay, I think it's worth checking out Caz as a character. You know, she seems like a very old... No. Like what I would consider like an old British woman. But I'm not calling like old, but she has. Do you know what I mean? Hidden. It's like this is the sort of generation that are sort of peeling it away.
Refined.
Yeah. You just don't really find that sort of old-fashioned British type of lady. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But she seems very genuine. This is the point I'm trying to get, and I do believe her. 100%.
I've been accused, obviously.
Hey, John.
I think I watched the Disclosure Project about 20 years ago. It was actually shared with me, but I watched it because it was advertised as a press conference. But it never compelled me to go out and join the UFO group. You know, I've watched ET and Close Encounters too, but again, never went out and joined a UFO group. Well, it wasn't actually part of my life. I was, working. I have a family. I have children. This wasn't part of my life until that night. Now it's consumed my life.
Yeah. Okay, then. Well, I would say, can we just dive in on the night of the event? But this was something that you say happened days before. There was something in the air. I think the first thing we need to do is talk about the event.
Okay, well, I'll start at the beginning. It actually started for me on the Tuesday. And it was my neighbour David that first noticed this very small grey twin prop plane just flying very low and very slow over my village, which is Pentyrch. I didn't pay it any mind. We got RAF St. Athan 14 miles away, and we have military aircraft that pass through quite regularly, but none of them seemed to stick around and stay. Wednesday morning was when we really started to pay attention to these aircraft. And David had come out of his house and he was cursing because this small aircraft had kept him awake all night. And as you can appreciate, Pentyrch is extremely quiet at night. And so anything like that, a small prop plane flying very low over your house is extremely loud and very annoying. So all Wednesday night, I had a very restless night. Now, David had written to the Ministry of Defence, and they did not reply. He'd also written to Wales Online, and they did not reply either. So when you've eliminated everything else, it was quite clear
Where's your sports
that they were
model?
watching for something. These two aircraft, one at a time, by the way, would bunny hop with each other when they changed shifts to go off and refuel. And then they would stay for another 8 hours or so, and then the other plane would come back and take its place.
Hold on. It sounds credible.
Well, we decided that if it was still there Thursday night, that we would go out and watch with them, because clearly they were watching for something. No exercises were listed. No NOTAMs were posted. And certainly when they closed the entire Welsh airspace, it drew our attention that something was really going on. Now, David had said that perhaps they were watching for Russian planes again, because it was only the week before that we turned away two Tu-160 bombers, Russian bombers, from our airspace. We'd lit the fire pit at the back of my garden. We stood there and we watched this small grey propeller plane that had gone from flying in circles to flying figure of 8 patterns over the top of.
I was gonna say, you know, after we watch this bit, if this person wants to come up, is there any way we can contact you to give you the link?
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Yeah, if you want to come on, and
would you like to come on after this bit of the presentation when we listen to her testimony on Pentyrch incident, the Pentyrch incident?
Yeah. Honestly, if you could, that'd be amazing, because this is you probably got more detail than I've done in the past week. That'd be amazing. Yeah, if there's any way we can get in contact with you through Twitter or an email, obviously we don't. Well, out your personal email.
Yes,
you.
Yes, you. Yeah. It don't matter. I'll put the link in here, because
I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be now. I mean, even like if you've got any like free time, it's like there's no pressure at all. But yeah, I just find this case so fascinating, and I'm quite surprised I haven't really done a lot of research into it. I mean, a lot of recent cases sort of kind of go over my head because of the stigma of ufology, but this one was such an eye-opener due to Caz's testimony and obviously everything surrounding the whole incident itself. I find this immensely fascinating. So it'd be amazing if you could pop on and have a little chat at some point. But like I said, StreamYard I can try. Oh, that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. But let's play Caz's testimony so far, because she gets into detail. This is really, really important.
My house.
I'll drop it to
7
you.
minutes.
I'll drop it to you after this.
And it got to about 2 a.m. and I said to David, "It's freezing. I'm going to go in. Nothing's happening." I'm a bit bored, to be honest, you know. And I just got to my back door and I just placed my hand on the back door handle, and I heard what sounded like a missile coming. And I ran to the back of my garden to see this huge plane go over the top. We had almost a full moon. It just ebbed over the full moon. And as it banked around to the left-hand side, so you could see this mushroom-shaped object on its back, and David exclaimed, "That's an E3 Sentry plane." Well, that meant absolutely nothing to me back then. All I knew was just about identify a Cessna, if I was lucky, you know. I know an awful lot more now because of the meticulous, in-depth military timeline that Gari Jones, the investigator, has put together. Because this plane had turned up, we decided we'd watch a little longer. And you can see in every direction but north in Pentyrch, because that's where the actual mountain is.
All right. Just let me know when,
let me know
when you set up, and I'll send you the link.
Plane started to circle, not small circles, big circles. And we estimate it took a few minutes for it to go around just once. And 7 times this plane circled. David said perhaps it's taxiing for the airport. The only airport large enough to accommodate a plane of that size would have been Cardiff International, where you wouldn't expect to see an E3 Sentry plane. This was a NATO plane, not RAF. The 7th time it went around, one red light became visible high above the trees, above the fields behind my house. There's nothing behind my house except farmland that ebbs away from you. And I'd called for Donna, one of our other neighbours who'd been watching with us that night, and she'd gone in to make us all hot drinks. I called a second time, didn't get an answer. So I said to David, come on. And we ran, jumped over the small wire fence and ran to the 5-bar gate that overlooks the farmland behind my house to get an unobstructed view as to what was going on.
Okay. Listen to her, how she goes into detail without skipping a beat. This is what I find interesting with this witness.
The E3 Sentry was still above us. At this point now, flying in an oval flight pattern, flying out towards Llantrisant, about 5 miles away, turning and coming back. And one red light was followed by 2 more that formed a triangle shape. And the nearest set of lights on its underside were brighter than the rest. And slowly but surely, it emerged out of the darkness. This thing did not come down from outer space. This thing came through the space. And the nearest set of lights flying in horizontally, point first, turning very slowly anti-clockwise, and as it did so, came down in a pendulum motion, the leading set of lights still brighter than the rest. I remember as it went past the trees, it looked like train carriages, you know, with the lights behind the silhouetted black trees. And I stood on the 5-bar gate to get a better look through the bare trees. When it was in the upright position, it's fired this really bright green object out of the top. And
Whoa.
I didn't know until recently what shape that was because it was too bright. It's moved across to my left-hand side and above the trees and just rocked there, backwards and forwards gently, almost surveying the area. The pyramid, meanwhile, the 3-sided pyramid, is listed to the right-hand side, but still moving anti-clockwise away from us. And as it neared the ground, I said to David, it's landing, thinking it was coming down. When in reality, the ground there rises and it is the foot of the Garth Mountains. So the land was coming up to meet it. And it ejected this hand I described like a hand of lightning, not thin lightning like we have here, thick, fire-colored lightning. And the whole thing lit up really brightly. And around the brightest lights, you could see that this was a solid craft and not a string of lights. I heard the military planes coming. I now know to be 2 C-17s, huge aircraft with 2 engines on each wing.
Hey, Darker Schooner.
And they were flying wingtip to wingtip. And I looked up just to see them go over the top of me. And when I looked back, I couldn't see the pyramid anymore. That's not to say it wasn't there. I just couldn't see it because there's no light pollution there. It's pitch black. And the green object that had been there the whole time had moved across and in front of these aircraft. 2 further aircraft have come from my left-hand side. I now know to be 2 C-130 Hercules aircraft. And they've gone back in behind the 2 C-17s. So you've got the C-17s in close and the C-130s out wide. And between them, they took up the entire visible airspace.
Yeah.
The green object has now fired 3 really bright strobes at these aircraft. I think in an attempt to get their attention, to get them to follow it. And that's exactly what we did. And it seemed to get excited somehow. And it skipped, I described, like Tigger on Winnie the Pooh. It skipped and bobbed away into the distance with the 4 aircraft behind it. The E3 Sentry was still above us. And it bathed all of the aircraft in green light. And I watched it until I couldn't see it anymore. Whilst I was looking at the bottom of that pyramid, David was looking at the top. He said he saw 15 or 20, he described as orbs, come out of the top of this pyramid. And I didn't see any of them because I was fixated on it touching the ground. These things didn't make any noise at all. And after the green object had gone, we were approached by 2 barrel-shaped objects. They were capped on the top and on the bottom with just black caps. They were completely smooth on the outside. And all the insides were moving like white noise on a TV screen, but it was mixing in on itself, like it was more 3D than that. And one of them, they were both red in colour, tail-light red, moved across and above the hedge to my left-hand side, about 20 feet away and about 20 feet up. And I stared at it just for a few seconds because I wanted the details. I wanted to see. And then I looked to see where the other one was, and that hadn't stopped them by that time. That was right over the top of me. And the only thing I could think to do was to wave. With all the military activity going on, I didn't want us to appear to be hostile. And for me, that had to have been the universal signal for hello, and I don't mean you any harm. And the red barrel changed colour from tail-light red to traffic light green, and I could see even clearer the inside
Let's go, man. Let's see it.
mixing in on itself.
Silly do.
And I did hear a man's voice, not my voice.
Hey, hi, Joe.
Tell the world what you witnessed here. And I said, I will. That was the only thing. You know, David and I were complete polar opposites to each other. After the barrels went in different directions, the red barrel that remained sentry the whole time over the hedge moved away to my left-hand side and low across the fields. And I watched that until I couldn't see it anymore. And the now green barrel has moved away to my right-hand side and above the rooftops of the houses. Now, David and I had moved down or walked down to the second field where this pyramid had come in because he said he saw 15 or 20 of these objects. And we wanted to see if there were any more.
Wow.
Our phones didn't work. David's was completely fried. Mine, I knew was fully charged, was completely flat. And even though we had almost a full moon in the shadow of the hedgerows and the trees, the ground was pitch black and slippery, uneven. And this is a mountain in the middle of the night. When we got down to what we call the second gate, it was pitch black. There was nothing we could see.
It's recent.
When we were walking back towards the first gate, we heard the helicopters coming. There were 3 Apache helicopters, one above 2, flying in a pyramid formation.
Hey,
you could see the red lights pulsing out in front of them, slowly pulsing. You could see all the grass and the hedgerows and everything being pushed flat by the force of their rotor blades. And they were moving from my left to my right on an interception course where that green object had gone, that first green object in the Llantrisant area. We watched them go across the fields and then ran around the front of the houses to get a better look up the valley. But by the time we got there, they were already out of sight. I went back to my house. David was catatonic, sat there staring into the abyss, trying to make sense of everything that had just happened. And I was the complete opposite. I was energized. I needed to tell someone, anyone that would know what to do about this, because I didn't know anyone in this alternative world, in this UFO community. I knew no one. David went home and I went to bed, not that I could sleep.
Anton, probably.
And I heard this enormous explosion. This was not a bang. This was a kaboom from 5 miles away in the Llantrisant area. And I knew then they'd shot that green object down. I woke up the next morning with David hammering on my front door. And he burst through my door saying how Wells Online had put out this cover story of a military exercise. Well, I didn't know you weren't supposed to talk about UFOs. So I immediately launched into a comment that I can categorically state that that was no exercise. What they were chasing last night were not planes. I will take a lie detector for anyone, anywhere. But what I witnessed last night will stay with me for the rest of my life. And I did have 2 debunkers. One of them called themselves the Smoking Man, because they like their little jokes, using a fake Facebook profile. And the other one called himself Agent Fox Mulder. And they tried to ridicule, LOL, good one. And I said, yeah, it was good, wasn't it? So you may have chased and shot down the green object, but you left all the others here, didn't you? So they fell silent very quickly because I don't think they wanted me to say any more.
Whoa.
The thing is with these trolls, they want a reaction from you and then they just leave it like it is. I've seen it plenty of times. But yeah, unfortunately, when the UFO community, I think Caz is going to find out is that you are going to get trolls like that, fortunately. Not saying that it...
Did she elaborate any further on this? Because she said you shot down one, but you left the others behind. Yeah,
I don't know what she meant by that. Let's just carry on playing.
That's a very interesting. I don't worry about trolls because trolls are what they are. You don't care about them. Just
move on. Yeah.
The same morning, Stephen, one of my friends, had come over to my house, and we went over to what we called the near landing field, where this hand of lightning came out of this craft, expecting to see burn marks on the ground. But everything was dead. All the grass, it seemed as if all the chlorophyll had been sucked out of it. And it was snowing just in the one field, not in the surrounding fields. I remembered standing on the edge like a child and watching the snow fall in front of me, but not on me. When I went back to my home, the comments on Wales Online had grown, and there were many people talking about the explosions in Llantris and over Llantris and Common.
So basically, what happened when Caz had the sighting? Eventually, Dave and Caz went to bed once they saw the object fly off into the horizon, and it went out of sight. So obviously, she and Dave couldn't go off to sleep because they were absolutely frantic. Which I would be myself if I saw that sighting in that detail. I'll be like, "What the hell is that?" And that's when the explosion happened, and this is what woke up a lot of the residents in Pentyrch. If I said that right, I do apologize if I said that wrong. But yeah, this is the sort of lead up to the explosion itself, because there were helicopters being heard, but at the same time, is once the explosion, there's actually two. One of them came from the sky, and one of them came from the ground, I believe, from reports. I might be corrected on that. Excuse me. But Caz is the key witness where she saw everything, the whole thing, which obviously is not a training exercise. We're going to go in. I'm just going to play a little bit more because she goes in so much detail. We'll skip a bit because there's a few interviews of her talking about more detail into the sighting. But I thought it's worth showing this Central Club video because you get the whole shebang into this. But check out the landing site.
And that was my starting point at the other end on the same day.
I still
because
remember
I
the
wanted
first
to
thing
find
that
the
I
impact
saw.
crater. I wanted to know what had happened to this green object.
I think those things.
So we went out to
stick out.
Llantris and Common, and all of the metal
Definitely.
that had been on the common for years, old washing machines, bits of old bike, that type of thing, had all been neatly picked up and stacked along the roadside. Clearly.
I know a lot of people in chat, sorry for pausing, saying that, well, she's very good at storytelling. But look, when you've gone through like a massive sighting like that, and and you're going to go on podcast, maybe it's gone through her head so many times because she's probably questioning herself, what the hell did I see? And like she said herself, she really wanted to tell somebody, but she couldn't tell anybody. But eventually she joins the UFO community, the UFO group, and that's where she can really express herself. I mean, I honestly, genuinely believe she had this sighting. She saw something. She's still stuck to her story, still to this day. And I swear to God, if you put that fucking comment back up again about rocket balloon, sorry for swearing, I'm going to come over and slap you. And I'm not getting triggered.
Doesn't sound like it.
I'm going to continue.
There had been a meticulous metal search that had gone on in the early hours, or what the military call silent hours, in the middle of the night, using helicopters and troops on the ground. And there was yellow tape tied to bushes and trees, as if it was some kind of grid section, so they knew what areas had been searched. And I saw
Sorry, was the yellow tape still
yes
intact, or was it ripped off? Or?
Oh no, it was still there.
Okay.
It's still tied to the trees. Same thing was in Smilog Woods too. But I'll get to that. I saw two people walking their dogs, and I approached them to ask them if they knew anything, bearing in mind this is the morning after the night before. And they told me how the Chinooks had landed on Llantris and Common, how troops and helicopters were on the ground, and how helicopters had circled using spotlights in the early hours of the morning. This is 4:30 in the morning. And they talked about the explosion, that the first explosion was an air explosion. And the second one sounded like something that hit the ground in Smilog Woods. Well, because I wasn't from the area, I didn't know where Smilog Woods was located. And I felt very stupid when they pointed to the huge 8-acre wooded hill that rises behind the Royal Glamorgan Hospital. But I decided there and then that I would go to Smilog Woods to find the impact crater. And because we knew the trajectory of the green object, it wasn't long before we found the beginnings of what we call the debris trail. All of the canopies, all of the trees have been hit out, and an ever-descending height into Smilog Woods. We fought our way through the brambles at the beginnings of the woods. Once you got into the woodland itself, nothing grows on the forest floor because no light penetrates that far. But it was still a hike to follow the debris trail as opposed to sticking to a road or, a walkway. And I was exhausted. And I said to Stephen, you know, let's go back and tell the others what we'd found. And that's exactly what we did. Went back to my home. We hatched a plan then to go up at 9 o'clock the next morning with cameras to follow the debris trail through to its end and find the impact crater, which is what we did. And the morning of the 27th, my hair had turned completely white. Completely white. And that is visible in the crash site video that we took that day. We'd gone up to Smilog Woods. We'd followed the debris trail through. The canopies of the trees, that's how it started. The canopies were out, and then as you got further in, the trees were distended almost as if they tried to explode from the inside out. Like they'd been affected by some kind of external energy. But the actual impact site, there were 6 60-foot trees, approximately 12 to 14 inches in diameter, trunk diameter, that had been snapped mid-trunk. An impossibility in nature. All at the same height with these burn marks on the surrounding trees. But the burn marks were white, not black. And a really pungent smell in the air, a bit like fireworks or burning rubber. And it was snowing at the crash site. Nowhere else. The sky was blue. Completely blue. Not a cloud in sight.
And it was snowing.
Yeah.
After that,
you've got the guy in StreamYard. Do you want to bring him up, or do you want me to carry on for a bit?
Is he where? Where is he?
Not there now? He says he's yeah, I'm in StreamYard now. See him there at all?
Oh, maybe I have to send him a link because I don't see no one else here.
All right, send him. Help if you sent them the link. Hey, Blackjack Guitar, nice to see you, man. Welcome on in. Let's just continue with just the rest because the important details is coming up now.
Okay.
Went back to my home. I went out for my own curiosity, not because I thought there'd be a big investigation. But after I was lent on by the mainstream media, interrogated by the mainstream media, I stayed silent for 18 months. I didn't even go out my house for that amount of time.
I just sent the link.
Did you understand the size of this when you was going through, you know, chasing the track trail and stuff? Did you realize how big this event was at the time?
No, to be honest, I didn't. And I always believed since that somebody somewhere in the world must have seen something like this. But to find out that no one had is quite shocking. But what I was more upset about, I think, was our response. That we'd set an ambush for this thing. That the military knew that it was coming. No attempt to communicate. No hand of friendship. They set an ambush, they pursued, and they shot it down without mercy.
This is quite interesting because the sighting that she saw almost had like an intelligence behind it. I always ask myself, what, basically why and what basically she saw could have been something military. Hey, Green Sea, how's it going? Nice to see you. Some sort of military, obviously military exercise going on, but in a way, not like a drill, but I'm talking about in a way of actually contacting some sort of extraterrestrial entity or something like that. I don't know, because like I said before, you know, these orbs are not necessarily. Hey man, nice to see you. How's it going? He's gone.
No, I did that. You got to
some sort of extraterrestrial.
There's some sort of feedback coming on.
Oh, have you got any headphones?
Hey man, nice to see you. How's it going?
Yeah, let me just go back out.
Yeah, that's cool. Grab some headphones.
I can mute you. I can mute you.
Sweet.
That's cool.
So yeah, we've got him in the studio. That's awesome. So yeah, I mean, I'm trying to take a grasp of what basically she saw, and trying to figure out whether or not it's something military or something that's a sighting that we can trace back through years ago. It's a really tricky one, but she goes into such detail.
Well,
and I believe she's still sticking to a story to this day.
She's got good evidence. She took photographs of the trees that she's saying where the explosion came from. I mean, that's the stuff we want to see.
Yeah, and the fact that her hair went white, which was quite strange, wasn't it? When you look at it, and you can see it in the video. I can't find that video anywhere. I did have a look for her personal video, because this was probably taken. Yeah, this was taken like shortly afterwards. Yeah, not too sure. But yeah, it's an immensely fascinating case. It really is. Really is. Let's just play a little bit more. I'll find this video.
Yeah, there's so much to unravel in all of this. Like, and these are the two things that have stood in my mind is the worrying factor of them knowing, you know, days before, circling like they're expecting something, and how quickly, you know, they kind of eradicated all the evidence.
Well, they've tried, but I think Gary and I have caught them cold, because I don't think an event of this size has ever happened in this country before. We've certainly caught them out lying on Freedom of Information requests, which is an offence under Section 77 of the Freedom of Information Act. And it seems that these people, like the Ministry of Defence, like South Wales Police and other agencies, have been able, over the years, to lie on a Freedom of Information request and not be held accountable.
Look, who do you think reported that to the Wales Online that it's a military exercise then? The military?
Yeah.
Well, this is something that we're trying to get to the bottom of. Clearly, the military were in at community level from the off. And what I mean by that is that there were certain individuals that were in the local hubs. So in Llantwit Major, Llantrisant, Pontyclun, all of them, just with the one-liner. It was a military exercise. No explanation.
Like Facebook posts and stuff, like community posts.
No explanation, no follow-up, no nothing.
All systems go. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine, yeah. Got a cheapy pair of headphones. They're not that long, so I've had to go up right up to the screen.
Sweet.
Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, no worries. No. What do we call you?
My name's Gary Jones. My name's Gary Jones. I'm the lead investigator for this case with Caz Clark. With the investigative team, we are.
Awesome. Fantastic. So you've been starting since the beginning?
Yeah, since day one.
Bloody hell. So it'd be good to get your, basically, where did it all start for you? I'd just be interested to what start you get into this investigation.
First of all, can I say thanks for coming on?
Yeah, thanks for coming on as well.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, well, I wasn't expecting it, to be honest, but you said, do I want to come on? I thought, okay, why not? Now I'm here. But how did I get into this? Well, it started, in the days leading up to it. I mean, I don't live too far from Pentyrch as far as the crow flies. Like, it's only about 10 or 20 miles, maybe in a straight line. I'll have to measure it sometime and let you know exactly, but it's not that far. Anyway, there was a lot of military build-up in the area around Pentyrch and the valleys of Merthyr Tydfil and Rhondda, Cyntaff and all that. And a lot of people who I knew from different areas were saying, what was the military doing? What was that Air Force craft doing? And it was just going on and on and on until the night in question when it, when it actually started to happen. And I'd seen some military convoys coming up and down the A470, which is like one of the major roads that lead up between Cardiff and Pontypridd and Merthyr Tydfil and the Brecon Beacons. And I mean, it's like they were preparing for war here, the way they were going on. They were flying low over people's houses in the days and nights leading up to it. They were very loud. No one knew anything. So this idea that we were all given fair warning, I don't think so.
Yeah, strange, isn't it? You would have thought to give the residents warning to say, look, we would be flying our helicopters quite low at 2 o'clock in the morning. And obviously, it just the whole thing does not make any sense. But yeah, continue.
Well, I'll get to that, actually. So, yeah, I mean, Friday night came, which was the 26th of February. It was, Thursday night into the early hours of Friday morning. Yeah. I was just reading a book, I used to stay up late and read books, anything that took my fancy, because I wasn't an early sleeper. I was like, I always had to go to bed late, and I was up like early anyway because I'm not a big sleeper. So yeah, I heard this noise. It was a Chinook helicopter. Must have been around just after 2, 10 past, quarter past 2, something like that. And God, he was right over my house. He came in all the way down the valleys and came up over my house. I mean, at one point, I looked like I could have gone on my roof and jumped up and touched the helicopter. That's how low he was. And I'm not kidding on that. He was low. Even the lamppost lights were reflecting off of him. And he went around. He was coming around every 5 or 6 minutes. And he was on a flight pattern. You know, he was going in a clockwise, coming up and around, and he'd go around again. After about the 3rd time, I decided to grab my camera and see if I could film him well. Put it this way, you don't film any kind of aircraft, even when they're low at night, that easy. You can catch the flashing lights, but unless you've got like a high ISO range or a night vision camera or something, you're not going to get much from it.
Yeah.
So all this idea of people saying about cameras and why didn't you film it? I said, well, you ever tried filming an aircraft at night? Even something as large as a 747 or E3, it's not that easy. So anyway, I was attending a conference in Merthyr Tydfil. It was done by a man named Richard D. Hall, who did the Rich Planet series. Yeah, his tour was really big around that time. I mean, I don't know if he's still doing it now, but at the time he was huge. You know, he was all around the UK. Yeah. And the Q&A session came along, and I couldn't believe it. There's this lady talking about this event that happened. She was frantically speaking. Really, you know, what's the word? Just, you know, frantic is probably the word. She's really full of adrenaline, but she's saying it clearly and calmly. But she's like, oh, you know, it's like what I saw and it was true. And everyone was like, what? Yeah. And then I swear to God, the atmosphere inside the place was electric. You could have charged your phone on it. It was that electrified. And so, everyone started talking about. They started talking about roads being closed off, explosions in the hospital of Royal Glamorgan. I think someone even suggested that there was smoke filling the rooms and everything at the hospital. I'm like, well, this isn't an exercise. They don't behave like this. You don't need to be a military buff or anyone who's served to know that that's not how they behave.
Was the hospital was in use? I take it as well with patients.
Yeah, it's a.
And they never asked to evacuate the hospital prior.
No.
So there's some sort of protocol there where they wouldn't do that by civilians.
I don't know what the protocols are for evacuating a hospital, but I do know from the Freedom of Information that we've done and in general inquiries, if you are going to conduct a military exercise near a hospital, the one thing you are going to do is you're going to at least inform the hospital, look, you know, we're going to be doing this. You may hear explosions, but they're just simulated, or you may hear noises, but don't worry, it's just us training. So please, you know, be aware of that. And they'll have a memo, an email or something, just to sort of like for the staff to look at. But amazingly, for that particular night, they didn't have nothing. And we've tried to get that information, but they keep coming up with excuses not to do it. Sorry, am I lagging a bit here?
Yeah, slightly. We can hear you though. I just got a quick question. Looking at Caz's testimony, where when she was doing her first presentation, she was so excited, really excited, the way she wanted to tell her story through a group of people that will be on her side as such. What is more or less the estimation now of what she saw? Because I'm trying to figure out what exactly was the military doing that day. Because it obviously wasn't a training exercise. It must have been contacting something. I mean, what's the conclusion so far?
Or is there?
Well,
if there's
the military, I mean, I wasn't there to see the event itself, but the military give you so many clues if you pay attention to them. The first clue you get is from the radar returns of this plane that was circling. I mean, it went down. Was it ZZ418? Was it Snake 48? It was called the Shadow R1 aircraft, which was decommissioned in 2012 and brought back a few years later. And equipped with all kinds of incredible top secret equipment. Trust me, you try and find out what they've got, you'll have a hard time finding it. But I do know they have a forward-looking infrared, and they've got one of those SAR radars, or synthetic aperture radars. You know, the stuff that was looking at the pyramids recently. Other stuff I don't know. But here's the thing. I looked at that radar return, and it was circling down in Cornwall. Then it went further up north, I think to Truro, and then it came all the way across the Bristol Channel and settled on Pentyrch, and it never left the area. So they obviously knew something was coming. You know, they were obviously scanning for electromagnetic radiation or some sort of radio signal that allows them to detect these things, because Ross Coulthard's been talking about this an awful lot, and I do believe that's what they were doing, because once that plane took off, there was an Army Air Corps plane that would come in, and that would do like a figure 8 or some sort of like zigzagging pattern. You can see it. The radar returns are on the Pentyrch Incident channel. I've managed to keep them. It's one of the few things, one of the old artifacts that we've managed to save, because I think somebody's trying to erase the internet with a lot of stuff now.
Yeah,
So,
even with the comments,
but
even with the comments
getting into, the Wales Online comments, they were there for a long time, but then once they realized there was this was picking up momentum, the only time I've ever seen Wales Online do this, they deleted all the comments. What a surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's stuff like that that makes you go, hold on, they're definitely hiding something. I mean, Rotary put in the comment section, it says, what do you think actually occurred there?
Well, as Caz Clark described it, I mean, there's nothing else. I don't know what it was doing there, but I know it was there. I've got I've got a witness in Caz Clark, and a person who's been working. We've been the investigation team, and together we've uncovered so much information and evidence. I mean, large. Well, so can I just finish? Sorry. The large craft itself. I mean, people say, some people have had ideas that they came for what's there. So whatever was in the fields, I guess there was something of theirs that was there or whatever. But there's no doubt that large triangular pyramid-shaped craft was there, and those multiple smaller orbs. I mean, we've got photographs of those now. I don't know if you've seen them. But, I mean, whatever it was doing there, I'm not 100% sure. But clearly, when it was there, they must have seen Caz and Dave over by the gate, because they sent those 2 red orbs over to them. I think they obviously wanted Caz to tell the world what they saw, because she heard that voice in her head. She's mentioned that a few times now. I don't know if you've become aware of that.
Yeah, this is it. This is what makes me go, okay, is there some sort of intelligence behind it? Is there a summoning of some sort of entity, some sort of extraterrestrial from a third dimensional realm that they've managed to target in that specific area of Pentyrch? So it's, for me, I'm trying to wrap my head around, because Caz definitely saw something, and obviously with the aftermath of what she saw with the explosions and everything, I believe the explosion, that's what caused the hospital to actually shake, and that's what created the dust. It was just like the sheer vibration, if I remember rightly. So there's definitely
the timing of the events for the main event, as I like to call it, because there's a lot of things that happened before and after, but the main event is the appearance of this large craft. Once that appeared, it came down on a sort of like a pendulum motion, turning clockwise, I do believe, and it released a hand of lightning up in what we call the ball patch area. And during this time, they've let off smaller barrel-shaped orbs. One in particular was this green one, and I think acted like a decoy. That's just my own. Idea. The other thing then that happened is, once the green one, the 4 planes that Caz described, we now know what they are, because I did the military timeline. They were C-17s and Hercules aircraft. They went into the area where this larger craft was, and the green ones shined a green strobe of light at them about 3 times, and then headed up northwest, which is where Lantris and Smilog Woods or the Royal Glamorgan Hospital is. And those planes that have been circling around Pentyrch for days on end decided to follow that thing and head over to Smilog Woods. Of all the places it could go, it decided to go there.
Yeah.
And then the large explosions happened. There was one big air explosion. And I think what the second one was, that some people described 2 or 3 seconds later, was a impact on the ground. That had to be one of the green objects being shot down over the Lantris and Common area. And I calculated the speed on that, actually, if you look at the distance between the two. 2 or 3 seconds, you're talking anywhere between maybe 500 and 900 miles an hour. Wow. That's how fast you'd have to go to get there, cover that distance.
Could I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you spoken to Dave?
Yeah.
And has
Dave a number of times.
Has he come out on the record to say what he saw?
Only once. He was on a vet. Is it a vet Fielding? Is it or a vet Cooper? Sorry, I forget if I'm getting her name wrong. But she's like a paranormal ghost hunter type investigator. Yeah, he was on there for a little while. He spoke with Caz Clark and gave a little brief discussion about it.
Was there any other witnesses to this besides these two? Not trying to say anything wrong, but a big event like that. Did the other people see anything else?
Yeah, we've got Jacob Coleman, who was down on the stretch of road by the Royal Glamorgan Hospital, not too far from Smilock Woods area itself. He said he saw an Apache, and there were 2 or 3 red-green sort of shapes that were surrounding it, like they were in some sort of standoff.
Wow.
And he said he drove around trying to record it with his camera. While he was in the close area, the camera wouldn't work. But as he managed to get further away, just to cut a long story short here, the camera switched on and he managed to record it. But unfortunately, he didn't realize that there was an investigation going on. That phone went out of his possession for a while. So the original files to it have been removed or deleted, or the phone's been formatted. We've tried to recover it, but so far we're not having any success. And there's, of course, Dave, but then there's Mike Hembry. There was an interesting character that he gave a statement just a week after the event, and his statement matches exactly everything we've uncovered. So unless he was not, he had to have been there to know all this stuff. But we haven't been able to locate him. But we have got 2 other witnesses on record, Mark Morris and Richard Woodward. We've got their videos online. There are others who've spoken to us. A lady who lives in the area who said she's got some kids with special needs, and the kids themselves normally are awake all night. They don't sleep very comfortably in the night. But on this one particular occasion, don't ask me why, it must have been luck, or maybe it was something to do with this craft, who knows? They slept soundly, all 3 of them. All 3 of them slept through the night. And then, of course, we've got, who else have we got? There's a couple in North Wales who said they saw the triangular craft heading up into the atmosphere up in North Wales, as not long after it was in Smilock Woods, or in Lantris and sorry, I'm getting this wrong. Pentyrch Fields.
Okay, but there's
a few witnesses.
There is quite the ones I've been looking up. They've got some really pretty decent evidence of people, evidence of the witness testimony from people from all around that sort of area. There's one thing I want to get a grasp of: the initial craft itself, the pyramid style, even triangular style craft itself. Now, Caz mentioned that these were individual orbs, or was that one solid craft?
It was one solid craft with lights on it, but it lit up as it got more. Well, once it started to show in the field, it started to light up a bit more, but it really lit up when that hand of lightning came down as the mountain came to meet its leading edge there. But the hand of lightning hit the ball patch area, as we call it. And that's when it really sort of like illuminated the orange finger-like hand of lightning that Caz described. The color illuminated the surface area of one corner of it, and that showed it to be some sort of solid, a very solid object. But then these small car-sized, barrel-shaped orbs, red and green color, came out of it, and 2 of them, came over to Caz and Dave by the gate.
That's amazing, absolutely incredible. I was going to say, with that area, it's called the bulb patch, isn't it? Because nothing grows there. Is that still the same today? I'm interested to know.
No, it's not like that anymore. I'll tell you a story about this, actually. The reason it's called the bulb patch is not because it was like bald, all the grass had been torn up and there was just a big patch of dirt there. I called it the bulb patch because it's like when you see someone's hair, and you get that little thinning on the top there, a little bulb patch. It kind of looked like that. The grass wasn't growing tidy. It looked unhealthy. Some of the plants that would normally grow there didn't seem to stay alive for very long. And this was in the months into spring of 2017. I was noticing a lot of this.
Yeah.
Interesting enough, spiders didn't seem to put webs in there. Sheep wouldn't graze in that area for a while. I noticed also that when we got EMF and radiation detectors, that particular area was the most active. And we went into that area a couple of times, me, Caz, a couple of others. Caz's friends, neighbors who helped in the investigation and all that were witnesses to many other things themselves. And other people who just came along for the experience that day. They all came in there after about 2 or 3 hours, you know, because we were doing our field work. I was doing my field work. I came out of there. Many of us felt the same way. We all felt like we were... Oh, it's asking how big it was. I'll tell you that now. Yeah, we felt like the symptoms of that, you know, it's not major radiation poisoning, but just sort of like a slight radiation sort of sickness. You know, nausea, sensitivity to light in the eyes, the skin. My skin was red in places. You could have just taken your hand like that. You know, your blunt fingernail. It would have felt like you were cutting me with a sharp or rusty razor or something. It was really painful. Yeah, I took strong painkillers, went home. And basically I couldn't do anything for like 24, 36 hours. And I was like, oh, you know, oh, rough. And then all of a sudden it just went like someone splashing water on your face.
Was that for the same situation for Caz? Because was that the same place where her hair went white? Was that a Smilock Woods where she had that?
She has a video of the broken trees in Smilock Woods, which show her hair very white. I'm guessing the experience itself was quite traumatic, but I think it's when that barrel may have, you know, given her the most exposure to it all, which probably led to that happening. But her hair turned white. I mean, I've seen Caz after the event. Her hair went back to a normal brunette kind of color, and even now it's not as white as I mean, she says she's got a bit of salt and pepper on her hair, like, you know, she's going a bit white, but she's still got a more or less a natural hair color. It's not as white as it is in that video at all.
Yeah, where can I find that video?
It's in many of our presentations. You might find them in maybe the 8th or 9th anniversaries.
Okay, that's cool. Because I was looking for it online. I couldn't really find it because I was going to show it, because it shows her hair being quite white. You know, someone has, you know, going through like their 70s.
Yeah.
Caz doesn't look like she's going through her 70s, but now obviously you can tell she's got a bit of color going back into her hair, which is a good sign. But it's odd. I just find that whole situation just very bizarre.
Yeah,
because people say, "Oh, she faked that." It's like, why would she do that? Why would Caz do something like that?
Someone did ask me earlier how big the craft was. The main craft, well, my estimation is about 1,000 feet on all sides. So it's 1,000 feet. And the reason I know that is because where the craft actually started to come down, it didn't move that much. Because when you read the testimonies of Caz and Dave, it's not like, you know, you were following it like this. You know, you're literally in that field and it's just there, just moving a little bit, but it's just pretty much where it would expect to be. And when you measure the field from one end to the other, when you measure the EMF trail that we found, and of course when you do some trigonometry, because I asked Caz, okay, if you're standing by the gate, you're looking at the bottom and you're looking at the top, how many degrees do you reckon there is? And if you know the distance and the angle of degree and stuff, you can work out height. And every single one of them comes back 1,000 feet or just under. So there you are.
Wow.
Guess inverted pyramid, basically 2 pyramids with these. No, I don't know what that means. One solid structure, that's all I know.
So it's like a shape of a pyramid, basically. I think
a three-sided pyramid, that's what we call it. I don't know what the official name for the shape of that is. I say three-sided pyramid because everybody knows what that can look like.
So it's kind of like a triangle pyramid.
I just need to get a drink.
No worries, man.
Give me a plugs back in, Sonny. Right, go on, yeah.
All right, that's it. A tetrahedron. Thank you. I'm glad there's some scientists in here. There's 2 scientists. There's 1 and there's 2.
Yeah, I know. I would have found that out. I found that out many a time, but I'm so used to saying 3-sided pyramid or pyramid-shaped object because that's what everyone knows. A 3-sided pyramid. That's why I call it.
You're talking to the layman.
Yeah. That's the best way to do it, man. You got to talk to the layman.
Or it could have been that.
Tesseract, yeah.
Yeah, I have seen a few UFO sightings, like pyramid structures.
There was a fair few people saw it like that. There was a fair few people that saw it.
Look, I mean, I'll just say this. I mean, I get loads of people saying, hundreds of people would have seen, yeah, if it was earlier on, you might have. But if you go to those fields, it's not a direct road running through there. There's no main area that you would... And from unless you were standing by the gate or on Garth Mountain or passing by Tinnacoid Road, which is like a little country lane road that runs between all these small rural villages, you wouldn't really have seen it much. Honestly, the houses around the area blocked by trees, your view is obscured by many different things. And even if you were, you know, I mean, unless you were in the field or along the road, I mean, I gotta be honest, you'd be surprised how pretty well obscure it is.
Yeah, I googled the area because I said to my missus, "Look, let's take a trip down there because we want to go to Wales. It's just such a lovely scenery to go to. It's a lovely drive as well." And I was looking at the map location, like a horizontal view and a satellite. I was going, "This place is like in the middle of nowhere." I was like, "You ain't going to get hundreds of people witness this object." You know, it's like I said, it's such a in Wales. It's very countryside-esque sort of scenery. So yeah, you're not going to get like thousands of people witness it. So
I mean, even if people. Go on, sorry. I mean, even the people who live in Pentyrch still aren't aware that this thing happened, even though the word has got around, but many people still aren't aware of it.
Yeah, yeah.
So you tell me, like, you know.
This is it.
So,
what's any significant evidence come from Smilock Woods? Obviously, with the tree branches.
Lords.
Go on then.
I mean, if it wasn't, I've often said to Caz and many others, just as a casual thing, I said, if it, you know, PENTYRCH Incident, Smilock Woods and PENTYRCH area, what an amazing case. But if you just take either one of them, they make an amazing case. But Smilock Woods often gets overlooked because obviously most people are focusing on what Caz saw and what Dave saw and what happened in the fields. But then we've got this other interesting story that, you know, combines with it, makes up Smilock Woods. I mean, we've got seismic signals of the explosion, which match up to the eyewitnesses' times of when they heard these things. We've got people who chatted online, and dozens of them all saying the explosion happened. We've got people who have spoken to us and gone on record about the explosion. They were working in the industrial area or working in a very loud place. They felt it. Of course, then, you know, you go into the area itself. We've got the snap trees. We've got video of the strange snow. What's that? Oh, give me a second, Hengers. Bye. Wants to know about the EMF measurements. We've got, I've got video about a few days before the impact site was broke. Do you know that? I spent like 2 weeks, 12 hours a day looking around for videos of anyone riding the bike trails up there. I finally found one, and it's like, yes, you know, I knew it would pay off. Oh, man, it was tedious work. It's because most of these videos have only got like 100 views, and they're so well hidden. Unless you type in the actual, you know, list what it is you're looking for, it won't come up with anything.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, sometimes these search things can be very frustrating. But then we've also got now 2 people who were camping further up in Smilock Woods, who Caz and I have got their recordings from. They were witnesses to what crashed in the actual area that very night. They came down the trail. They could see people wearing hazmat suits. They could see that there was something buried in the tree line area there where the impact site is. It was all covered in brambles and things. And when they decided to step out onto the road just to say hello, instantly they were grabbed by the soldiers, threw up against a truck, assaulted, more or less. Their phones were confiscated, and then somehow they managed to remove all their apps and take all this, or sort of like reset it or something. So, and they were driven away. No one gave them any explanation as to what was going on. They were just told not to go back there, and it took them a while to pluck the courage to go back to the campsite to get their belongings because they thought maybe there would be people there waiting for them, I guess. But so, I mean, and what's his name there? Hengis, I think is how you pronounce it. He asked me about the EMF. We do have other radiation results, the beta radiation detector that we got, or nuclear Geiger counter sort of thing. Unfortunately, when the first one came along, the people didn't calibrate it tidy, but it did register beta radiation, and I managed to do some recordings afterwards. I sent it into a number of different experts, and they all gave me different ideas about the exposure being equal to 21 days of normal background radiation if you're there for an hour. So not enough to hurt you, but it can, you know, make you feel a bit uneasy.
Could they elaborate as where this radiation came from, or is it naturally there?
If it was naturally there, you'd have to declare the site hazardous.
With that much radiation?
Well, because at the end of the day, like, you know, normal, I mean, I wish I kept measurements in my head about this, but I mean, whatever the normal background radiation is, it was just a little bit higher than that. That's after 4 years, you know what I mean? So imagine what it was like in the day.
Yeah.
But my point is this, is that, you know, we discovered beta radiation. We got that much, but the EMF is much more revealing. Now, I'll just go over this quickly because if you wanted a more scientific explanation, technical-minded kind of people, go on Google and ask what electromagnetic radiation is. All I know is that it's measured on a waveform. It's a charged particle, and when it moves forward, you know, it generates a magnetic field and electrical field. And if you've got devices, you can measure the waveform and how strong it is, you know, over a certain length of time. And when it comes to the EMF spectrum, you know, you got radio waves, television, microwave, and then it goes up to X-ray and gamma radiation and ionizing radiation. What was strange about ours is that I was reading only magnetic field radiation. I wasn't getting any electric field, which is kind of strange, really, because you would expect one or the other to sort of like register at the same time when you've got the meters that can break it down into individual strengths. And I must have gone through this field about 7 or 8 times with people, without people, with equipment, without equipment, or just a meter in my hand, making sure that no cars were coming by or people with mobile phones were setting off radio signals that could have interfered with it. Went through it with a metal detector a couple of times and did everything I could, really, because, you know, I'm only one person and I only had certain amounts of resources at my disposal, but still managed to do a hell of a job with it. And yeah, this is what we measured when we finally started mapping it out. Now, I'm going to mention this in milligauss now, right? That's the technical name for magnetic field measurement. So you can measure it in microtesla as well, or some other names, but this is just, you know, moving the decimal points around. In milligauss is what I measure it in now, right? In magnetic field, the normal background radiation for that area would have been about 0.5 to 1 milligauss, right? Just normal background magnetic field strength. On average, we were getting around 5. So the normal safety range is around 2 to 4. So we were getting above the safety range. That's just the average. But on some occasions, when we went into the hotspot area where the ball patch is, that went up as high as 20 or nearly 25. Wow. So it's like, you work it out. That's like 10 times the normal strength of, and there's no electrical cables running through there. There's no underground or overhead cables. There are some in the first field, but that's well away from the gate and well away from where we were. And this was a consistent theme. It was always a trail that Caz had pointed out, and Dave. What direction did this go? Oh, it went over here, then it turned and went that way. We found an EMF trail that went that way. Would you believe it? Followed the trail that they said. Yeah, and when we got to the ball patch where the hand of lightning came down, that was very strong. And I did the same thing for Smilog Woods. You know, did the perimeter search, went into the area with people, without people, with equipment, just a meter on its own, just so I could get a real good baseline reading. And again, anywhere between just over the normal safety range of 4.5 to 5. I think the highest ones we got between 9 and 10. So not so strong there. But what's interesting is, right, I found a trail which followed the crash set line of EMF, would you believe it? Then obviously we got the impact area, so it's going to be EMF around there with all the burnt trees and the weird snow and everything. Yeah. But what's even more interesting is the road that comes around the curve. I wish I had the map to show you. There's a curved road there. And I found a trail of EMF leading down the side of the road. I'm like, what the hell is this? I expected that and that. I wasn't expecting this. I got thinking, well, hang on now. If they're airlifting this thing out of here or coming in by truck, you'd want to roll it down there because you can get it a Chinook, maybe not to land, maybe, but to hover because there's a nice big wide area as you come around the bend before you see the impact area in Smilog. So that to me made a lot of sense. And even Dave, in some of the statements that he gave us, he said after the explosion, the Apache helicopter, one of the Apaches, made a run to Cardiff Airport because of a cockpit generator failure, but it was on fire. I
heard that story.
Yeah.
And there was witnesses that saw that. It was on fire.
People who worked there have told us, like, what they saw. They said they saw the thing land. The two pilots got up and they acted like nothing happened. You know, they were just smiling and laughing, apparently. I'd love to, but then there you are, like. But what was interesting is that the other two helicopters, because there were 3 Apaches, but the 2 that still remain, followed this Chinook helicopter, and Dave could see from his window, because like I say, where you see the pyramid in the Pentyrch fields, you can see all the way down into the valleys below. And he was watching the helicopter carrying something, and he was making regular sorties to and from. And I've got that on the military timeline. You know, it shows one of the Chinooks making regular trips every like 15, 20 minutes back and forth. So, yeah, they were carrying something from there. And the 2 Apaches that were still airborne were following it.
How many times were they doing this? Because
about 3 or 4.
So could they have been moving out debris, do you think?
Yes. Yeah. They put it on a plane and sent it over to the US Patent Air Force.
Is there a US base nearby, is there?
No, there's one in Patterson, isn't it? Patterson Air Force Base in New Jersey, I believe.
Ah, right.
Now, I'll tell you how I know this, right? I'll tell you how I know this, because there was a website called Politicalate, I think it's called. It had 2 stories on there talking about a US whistleblower who didn't sign an NDA, who was working at the Air Force Base, and it said on a Globemaster, a C-17 Globemaster, landed at the Patterson Air Force Base the day after, or in the hours that preceded Pentyrch, excuse me, and he saw on a flatbed truck something under the something underneath this white flatbed truck or crate or something, and there was somebody who spoke to us about something that was going on in St. Athens that was being put on the back of a white flatbed truck that came from the area that night. That's just unofficial. That's the stuff we haven't, spoken about publicly. Like, we've mentioned it before, but get this: the reason why I say it is because there's a plane, or there was a plane. It was a Royal Charter plane. You may have heard of it. It's called ZE-700, or its code name is Kitty Hawk.
Rings a bell. Yeah.
It's the plane that flies the royal family, the upper echelons of government, like the cabinet ministers and the prime minister, and very likely, of course, as well, generals and admirals of the Royal Navy and the military and all that. That's who flies them. No regular Joe goes on there. Not even like if you're like a mid-rank person, you've got to be way at the top of the pyramid to fly on that particular plane. And would you believe it? It's only ever come to St. Athens maybe 2 or 3 times in the last 10 years, and one particular time it came that very afternoon around 5 o'clock. And David Cameron, who was then Prime Minister, King Charles, who was then Prince Charles, and Prince William were also in the area of South Wales. 3 top brass people all in the one area, all of whom are either in charge of our forces or charge of the Navy or the Royal Commander or something. Do you know what I mean? It's and then this plane, I followed its ICAO code, right? Now, if you don't know what that is, it's like a telephone number for an area code, like every area in the world, wherever you are, like especially in the United Kingdom, every area town, you dial a number, but you got to ring the area code first, so that the phone goes through to that particular area. Well, an ICAO code is like very similar. Once you're over an area of a certain part of Britain or a certain part of the Atlantic Ocean or a certain part of America, the code has to be entered or it'll automatically update itself. Yeah. And if you follow those codes, you can see where something's going. This plane landed at St. Athens, ZE-700 or Kitty Hawk, if that's how people know it, and it flew off to Patterson Air Force Base. And then the next day it came back.
Whoa. So
that website that had that information was deleted. Luckily, I was able to go back on the Wayback Machine and get them back.
I want to ask you something as well. Now, you said something I'm sure you said this, that there's a feeling that these objects were looking for something.
Yes, that's been a bit of a discussion amongst all of us. I personally feel like it must have come there for something. I don't know what, but it's a very spiritual place, that field. If you've looked around there are ancient stone monuments that have been dug up and placed on the sides of the fields. Now, either there was a stone circle or there was like a stone row, like the Karnak stones. Excuse me.
See,
Or
I think
go on.
Rotary. I think Rotary, and I thought he was making a joke, but he probably touched something there because he said that it was the ancient gods coming back.
Could be.
I think it's because there's one of us that believes in the cargo cult. I kind of buy. You know, have you ever heard of this? The cargo cult.
Not necessarily. No.
Well, I heard it once, and I bought into it, and somebody else is in the chat. I think they'll tell me. They'll say it's me, but it's basically because we look up to the skies because obviously something came down from the skies that we as early human started to worship. And there's an example of this with an island. You remember we talked about this, Nick?
Yeah, I remember that. You were talking about that. Yeah.
So this place is a spiritual place of ancient relics. You believe there might have been a stone circle there, or there is?
Well, something was there because the stones are carved in a certain way. They've got boreholes in them. Some of them are shaped big. Some of them are very thin and slender. I've seen similar stones like these in circles or in rows, like I think they're called the Karnak stones. I'm not sure where they're at, but you know, they've just all lined up nice and straight, and it's definitely meant.
Are those the ones that are interlocked? The Karnak stones.
Well, I'm just saying that, you know, it's kind of either a circle or some sort of like avenue or line of stones. If you go in the fields next to them, you can still see the stones are in the ground. They're still there. You know, you can follow them all the way up past the quarry.
Is there like a ley line there then?
Yes. Runs right through the area of Pentyrch, just behind Caz's house, actually, through that very field.
That's going to be my question. That was my question. I'll say, is there actually a ley line going for that area? Because I've been to places like Avery and Glastonbury. I know there's especially Avery, the energy field there is absolutely magnificent. And to a point, it actually gives me headaches every time I go there if I'm there for a long period of time. There's like certain spots. And I've always wondered about that area you were talking about in Pentyrch, whether or not it's actually on a ley line. And due to the stones, it might be some sort of ancient sort of energy field there, because it's such a real thing. I mean, if I've been to these locations, you just get such like a tinkling sensation, a bit like Rotary was saying about with crop circles. Some people, like real ones, obviously will get like a very tinkling sensation, some sort of energy field. Basically, I was just wondering about that area alone of Pentyrch. Some sort of strangeness.
Well, I can tell you, we've had spiritual mediums and psychic people with dowsing rods and crystals come down there. They've always found something, but he's gonna hate me for this now. There was one psychic who came down there. I can't remember his name, Mark something. Oh, he's gonna hate me for this, but he's a spiritual medium psychic guy and a good one too. And he walked around the field, and I went with him. And I think this is in our 4th year anniversary presentation, actually.
Okay.
And he was saying he was discovering like vortices or vortex of energy swirling different ways. And, you know, there's one big line that runs through the area. And when you actually look at, I did find a map of where all these ley lines supposedly run. If you look at it, where it runs, it comes from the Sheffield area, I believe, and then it runs all the way down through Wales to Pentyrch. I mean, of all the places it could possibly cross. Yeah. And if you look at all the major UFO sightings that have happened in the UK, that's the reason I bring this up. There's like Roswell, Rendlesham, Nottingham, Sheffield, or the Broadhill, I believe it's called. Berwyn Mountain, another book that I've written on a case, Danby Lights. Nottingham, did I mention that? A number of other cases. They all run through these ley lines. Every single one of them. The major cases now. The major sightings. The ones that have something incredible happening there. And not just I saw a light and it was amazing. No. The craft is doing something. The military may even be aware of it. So, yeah.
Is that another case you looked into, the Pembrokeshire sighting?
Pembrokeshire.
Pembrokeshire Triangle.
I've heard of that one, yeah. It's not the one I've looked into personally. I've read about it. I think that's the Welsh Triangle, isn't it?
No, I'm not sure. Yeah.
I've got a book on that somewhere.
It's just to sort of stay on topic with with the sighting in general. I mean, what are Caz and Dave doing now these days? I mean, is Caz still doing the podcasting circuit? I mean, she's sort of reclused herself due to the.
I think she's doing a show on TikTok every now and again, but I think TikTok is constantly kicking her off or banning her or something. We still do interviews. We want to do some more presentations in the future, I believe, but when that will be, I don't know. Because I mean, there's only so many times you can say the same thing. You know what I mean? It's like you got to have a rest at some point. Like you got to have got to get on with some sort of life. But we're not running away from this. But I mean, it's been 10 years nearly now, coming up, 9.5 now. And what we really need, if you're thinking in terms of investigations, is that we need someone who can get a whistleblower or get access to areas that we can. That's why Ross Coulthard has made a mention of it once in a while. But you mentioned Dave there quickly. As far as I know, Dave just gets on with his life. He's living, paying his bills, looking after his children, doing jobs, like everyone else. We're all. I don't think he ever plans to go public with this, to be honest with you. He may do one day, but I mean, I can't speak for Dave. I know me and Caz have. Yeah, we did a nine-year anniversary back in February because every year we like to host an anniversary get-together of the Pentyrch incident. And sometimes we'll put on a bit of a presentation if we've got something to talk about, or we'll just have a general chit-chat, let everybody get to see each other and get to learn a bit more about each other, that sort of thing. Other than that, really, at the minute, I would say it's about all we're doing, really.
Okay. These events you do, these anniversaries, I mean, how do we get more information on this? Because I'm probably live like over an hour and a half away, because I'm doing actually going camping in is it Pens Van? Oh my god, am I pronouncing
Penavan, is it? Penavan?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we're going camping there on Saturday. But is that not too far from Pentyrch?
Do you mean Penavan the mountain?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It's not too far away, but it's a bit of a drive around the roads. But
okay,
no, it's not too far away. No, you can go up and down the A470 and get down to Lantrisand area, and then maybe take the Garth Mountain Road at the back there.
All right, nice.
So I mean, you're not too far away.
Are you looking to do any more events, like any promotion? Not promotions, any sort of presentation?
I don't know. I mean, there's probably. It happens when it happens. We're not making any real plans right now. But when you talk about the anniversary, there's a place called the Lewis Arms. It's a pub. It's kind of switching between owners a lot lately, because everything that's going on with the country and taxes and licenses and stuff. But I don't know what's going on with that pub. But sometimes it's open, sometimes it might not be. But every 26th of February 2000, every 26th of February of the year, we tend to host an anniversary event. And I'm pretty sure we'll do the 10th anniversary when it comes around next year.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, I'll definitely be joining in and get to know the people. Is there any new revelations recently? I mean, I know with Freedom of Information Act can only go so far and getting sort of decent information on the event itself. Any sort of new revelations recently in recent years, or was it still on the down low, more or less?
Depends on your knowledge of the case, I guess. But I mean, it's clearly obvious. I mean, we've had so many people still asking about photographs. I mean, I'm just so like, let me just say, I do plan on making some small little videos, like, frequently asked questions, or maybe little, this because there's so many different areas to talk about. I'd like to chop it up a little bit and just upload a little segment for, like they do on TikTok, like a little 2-minute clip or a 4-minute clip, so people can have a look at that. As for the revelations, I mean, obviously we've had the South Wales Police have had to admit that there was no counter-terrorism exercise taking place that night, as some people have suggested. We've had, and I'll tell you the story how we got that now. We've had the MOD, Defence Secretariat, which is probably no higher position for the public people to speak to. I mean, or anyone really, I guess. He's confirmed there were no exercises at all in the whole South Wales area for February of 2016. Not a single bloody one. They say, oh, you may have regular sorties. Yeah, every base gets regular sorties. You get any helicopter just dropping off and flying around or taking a training run or delivering supplies or bringing in a few new people, you know, that's what you call a regular sortie. It's just a regular delivery or regular training flight. It's not 3.5 or 4 billion pounds or dollars worth of equipment, you know, and enough firepower to take over a small country, you know, in an area that has never seen this before or since. As for new revelations, well, I think we've talked about this. We have had a witness come forward not so long ago who said they saw debris. A lot of the debris that looked like it came off the main craft or one of the smaller barrel orbs, maybe. There's a chance that we do feel now that they've shot down more than one. So they've likely probably shot down 2 or 3. So we're looking more into that. I'm sure she'll come forward someday. Sorry
to interrupt, but how many of the orb craft, because there was some in different color, but how many in total were there?
About 15 or 20.
Wow.
And also, I know there was a lot. So I was told, no, sorry, I shouldn't have smoked because I didn't expect to have a guest up here, man. So
it's all right.
She made a comment in the interview where she alluded to what was it that they may have left some behind.
Yes, that's I think that may have come from the actual. Well, 2 areas I think that comes from. One is because obviously the forensic teams were searching frantically around for things, but there's been some psychic people who have said, you know, that there's still some of this debris left in the fields or up in the Smiler Goods area.
Wow.
You know, it's like if the craft came through a portal or a hole or a dimension, it's probably dragged some of that stuff with it and probably knocked some of it off its body surface or something, you know, especially the hand of lightning part. So, I mean...
that was interesting, and I wanted to... because I know you didn't see that, but for the account, where did this lightning come from? Did it come from the sky?
Craft.
Or
No, it came from the craft.
The craft made the lightning. Wow.
Yeah, because you see where the area is, you know, it's like a little small field, and it has a little incline up towards the Garth Mountain area, and that's the craft. So if you just imagine this is the tip of it, like, you know, on the leading edge. You know, it's coming up towards that tip, and then it's like, you know, like a static charge, I guess. You know, you get a little shot, but that came out of there and sort of upright. It sort of stopped itself from, you know, Caz was shouting, "It's landing," you know, and that's what I mean. That's where that came from.
Wow.
Someone asked about the books. At the minute, the book is not on sale. I do believe we will have it on sale sometime in the future, but we want to. I know I'm gonna certainly upgrade it a bit. You know, add a bit more info. Excuse me. Add a bit more info because that book is about the first 5 years of our case. The investigation's gone on for 9.5 years, nearly 10 years coming up. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot more info to put in there.
Have you been working on any documentaries on this? Any like official documentaries? I mean, I know there's a lot of podcasts and various YouTube videos being brought up, but are you looking to do anything more or less official now? You're obviously a part of the investigation.
If anybody's got some ideas or a chance to maybe do something larger scale, because I mean, a documentary is a good thing. I'd like to do one. I've done a ton of presentations and things like that, but I think if anybody would like, I mean, it's not up to me, you know, it's Caz's case at the end of the day. So if she wants to do something like that, that's what will happen. But I mean, it would be nice if somebody who knows somebody in a movie studio or a big television company that might be willing to do something like this. I mean, I'd certainly be up for it, but you know, that's just something that. But I'm not doing any project at the minute, no.
Okay.
Personally, I mean, I may do small videos for the channel, you know, just to sort of help people understand a few things, because obviously some of our videos are like an hour, 2 hours long, and some people may not be able to sit through all that in one go or may miss something. So I want to break it up into little sizable chunks, you know, try and do some frequently asked question videos just so I can help clear people's minds up, because, sorry, there's still a bunch of idiots out there, you know, morons as I like to call them, who just believe that this was an exercise, Caz is lying, and I'm just full of it, I guess. And I'm like, you tell me then where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm wrong, because you've got a witness here that's passed 3 polygraph tests with the leading forensic examiner in the country, if not probably one of the best in the world, Carrie Austin of the local PI group. And I know how hard Caz fought for that. Trust me, she went to a number of people trying to get someone to test her so she could prove to everybody that she wasn't lying. And Carrie Austin, the test finally happened, and Caz passed 3 times. And that's when we learned about Caz's derma wave, which is, if anybody's a little bit knowledgeable on how physiology of the mind works, the brain, there's a sac over your brain. I think it's called the
fluid sac.
So it's got like a dermal ridge. Oh, damn it. Well, anyway, there's a sac over the brain, and in there's what they call dermal wave patterns. And normally they're fluctuating all the time. They got like different sets of patterns all the time. But Caz is just a consistent signal. So somehow this thing has changed her dermal wave, her brain pattern.
It affected her. So then, because this leads into my next question, because with that much activity, it all just stopped, or did the military chase it off?
I think some of the barrels went hiding and were forced out of the hiding areas and were fired upon, especially that one in Smilog Woods. Because if you study the pattern of the planes, the circle, the Snake 48 one, it's circling the area, and it gets smaller and smaller and smaller until finally it's right in the area where the impact site is. And one of the witnesses who I've spoken to, her name was Moira. Her father was a patient of the hospital that night, and elderly man, but had worked in the RAF as an armorer, and he heard gunfire, machine gunfire, before the explosion. Whoa. And I put 2 and 2 together on that one. They are obviously shooting at it. We've got another person who, if do you know anything about a NOTAM? Do you know what a NOTAM is?
Nope.
No idea.
Okay, this is something for all of you people who believe that this was an exercise. A NOTAM is short for Notice to Airman. It's a keep out area for regular planes or helicopters. It's an area that's been sectioned off. The area of the sky has been sectioned off, and only official people are allowed in there, usually the military who have booked that place. Now, we know now that 5 days prior to any exercise going out, they have to file that with the Civil Aviation Authority at least, right? And then that would get announcements on government websites, and you see the file date and commencement date and things like that, okay? There's none of that information out there. But there is this NOTAM that's been put out, but it's been done last minute. It's not official. But there's like a yellow circle and a red circle in there. And these are the boundaries that they set. They've gone well outside the boundaries, about 50 miles west Wales, past to Swansea and past that. And we know that someone saw a cluster of green lights being chased by jets and other planes that followed soon after. So they've obviously given chase to some of them. Some of them must have got away and realized, well, this isn't good. So I'd like to think that, we often think, did the military come there to defend us, or did they come there with aggression? It's a dangerous game if you're playing aggressive with these things, because, as Caz has rightfully said, if these things wanted to, they could easily wipe us out. And I agree with that.
Yeah. Bob Lazar in chat put a good point. The voice that Caz heard when she was having that sighting, is it where the barrel came over her?
I think it's when the 2 barrels were red. One was in the tree, one was above the hedge bushes a bit further back. The one Caz waved up to it, of course, like the universal sign for saying hi. It went from red to green and shined this light. Oh. And then that's when she heard a man's voice saying, tell the world what you saw here. I'm not entirely sure how the voice sounded, but I think she said she felt uplifted, like all the fear had been taken out of her. So, I think she's often described the voice as something angelic, something soothing. That's how I would describe it. I don't think I've never heard her say it was a threatening voice. It was something, unless it's true.
Yeah, I think from that point on, due to this sort of connection that she's had from this object, Caz's experience has really changed her aspect on this case, because it's not just like she saw something, she got an additional feeling from this with the voice. I mean, one could say, oh, she's just got so excited and she's conjuring up things. Unfortunately, you're going to get people like that in the UFO community, just very, very skeptical, hence people in chat. I'm not naming who it is.
Well,
it's part of the territory.
Well, I mean, just to finish my point on the NOTAM thing, I mean, the NOTAM should have been there. The announcement should have been there. There should have been paperwork galore for this exercise. There should have been notifications for the hospitals and the governments. Caz has looked at the low flying. This is where I always give Caz, tremendous credit. She's a legal mind of, the highest order, Barrister Clark, as I like to call her, because she's just got a mind for legal words. And I mean, you've seen legal contracts, they're full of all this legalese wording. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? But she breaks it down like she can just read it like I read English. I mean, she's so good at it, reading legal jargon. She went through the whole low flying training manuals and all the other things, and must have listed every rule and law and regulation that they broke. No recce, no written permission for the landowners. I mean, there's absolutely nothing. Even the paper that wrote the story of the exercise Chameleon wrote it. They were working on the story while the exercise, while that incident was taking place. And then 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, or 10 o'clock in the morning on Wales Online, exercise Chameleon, written by, oh God, why? See, this is when I do things so randomly. The person who wrote that article ended up becoming the chairman of, the communications board of the NHS, where then I would later ask questions to the Cumtath NHS Health Board for information leading up to any notifications for exercises that night. Of all the places she could end up, it's almost like she was deliberately put there. And she was the one that grilled Caz originally. She wanted to speak to Caz about her experience, and Caz felt kind of really upset, because this woman wasn't like asking her questions like, oh, what did you see and how'd it go? She was like, where do you live? Where are you from? All that stuff. It's like, bloody hell, I mean, give her the full interrogation. Why don't you? What an asshole. Yeah. But I mean, this is what Caz will tell you, right? I mean, I was really skeptical of Caz when I first met her. I thought she'd seen something. I thought she must have seen something quite incredible. But when it was being described, I thought, this is getting a little too science fiction, a little too beyond what because I've been studying, at that point, I must have been studying, researching UFOs for about 15 odd years, or maybe like 12 years, maybe. Must have learned a lot by that point. I've never heard of anything like this. But once I began to investigate and I started to find some evidence and we started to work together, we went from being adversaries and locking horns and, to getting respect for each other. And then we made a hell of a team, and here we are, and everybody. And of course, we got these people on meta junk, meta bunk, whatever you want to call it. I mean, they are hilarious. I gotta be honest. They make me smile. Some of the things they come up with. I mean, it's like they even present the low flying training manual or one of the other government's rules and regulations. And like I said, Caz went through it, had a whole look, and she presented the entire, all the things they got wrong, all the laws they broke. So it's like, back at you, you know what I mean? You're trying to tell me that this was normal, and then when we use your own words against you, they hate it. They can't stick it. Now, Caz is well-spoken, and I ask too many questions, and it's like, she says it word for word practically every time. Well, I said two things on that then. Number one, you've had an experience like that that's so life-changing and emotionally impactful like that, you ain't going to forget nothing. And obviously, when you've had a chance to sort of like get the evidence together and gain some confidence and start speaking about, you do develop a narrative. And you do develop this is the way you're describing it, It's like if David was here, and I'm sure, if David was here, if you listen to his, right, he'll say very much similar things, but he'll describe it in his way. And you ask him again, he'll say the same thing again, more or less. And it's like, well, there we are. I mean, that's what you saw. In your own words, tell me what happened. That's her words. What's wrong with that?
and he'd probably be a bit more agitated because he hasn't been out in public, whereas she has.
Yeah, I mean,
so she's more relaxed in.
Yeah, I mean, she's more. Yeah, she's much more confident now than ever before. I mean, it happens. You just get used to it. You know, you get used to the cameras and talking and answering questions. I mean, it's the same with me. I've learned to, learn how to try and conduct interviews, know when I need to speak. You know, I try not to go on for too long. Hopefully, I'm not boring you, but
no, not at all. Not at all.
But I mean, yeah, you just learn the media stuff as well. So that's how it goes.
You did mention something again, and I'd like to explore this one with you. You mentioned the possibility of it coming from another dimension. Is that, like, again, a theory?
I would go with I do believe it's an interdimensional craft, just based on what I've seen in the past. We don't build three-sided pyramids or tetrahedron craft. Our designs are more aerodynamic. You know, even if you look at the TR-3B or what's his name, Michael Strachan, is it the guy who does
Michael
Strat?
That's him. Yeah, I like that guy because he goes through Pentagon papers and looks at top secret projects that they're funding, and he shows concept designs for the more advanced planes that can actually go into space, but are still designed like aerodynamic. You know, they've got the flat winged hip design. You know, we don't build three-sided pyramids, and I mean, with what Caz described and what Dave described and everything else, I mean, this thing had to have come from somewhere else. I don't believe it's terrestrial. It's how it got here or where it's from, I don't know, but I do believe it was interdimensional. That's all I can say, really.
So when it disappeared, how did it disappear? Did it just...
Well, based on what Caz and I have discussed, I mean, what happened is it was lit up when it was there, and all the smaller barrels are now floating around. The planes have decided, the two Hercules and C-17 planes, and how everyone's asking, how does Caz know so much about aircraft? Well, because I found that out, okay? You know, I learned that stuff. I had to learn that stuff. You know, I've learned to learn so many different things. It's amazing what you've had to become not so much an expert, but you've had to at least get a good grip of the knowledge and the stuff that you're using. But anyway, when they came in to where the pyramid was, the lights on it went off. And I believe from the Colwinston witnesses that this thing was seen. It either went back the way it came, or it's probably, I do believe it went off the Smailog at least. But the North Wales people are saying it went up into Earth's atmosphere. And what's interesting about that whole thing, how many of you know that NASA have a website called Worldview?
No, I haven't heard that. No.
Okay, yeah, it's a satellite that goes around the Earth, and it does like these collages. You know, it scans the Earth in strips. You know, so you get like a collage layer like that. So you can see where my hand is here. Like, it goes like one layer, and then another layer, and it puts it all together in this collage. You know, so you can see what the Earth looks like for that day. What's interesting about that is, right, in the week or the few days leading up from their website, the satellite feed cuts off. And then, you know, it's off from like I think from at least the 22nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, it's off. 28th it's off, and it comes back on the 29th because it was a leap year that year. And I know another app that you can use to find images like this. It's called Zoom Earth. Same thing happens there. Same thing happens there. They've cut the satellite feed off for that particular week.
So
unbelievable.
Because I do believe that they must have caught. So NASA's got an image of it somewhere, you know, and it's like, oh.
And more importantly, then that means there was some sort of collusion because they knew. I mean, you don't turn up a place unless you know something's going to be there.
No, they knew it was coming.
Did they? What do you think they knew was coming? The tetrahedron or the orbs or? Well. I know you.
They obviously I can't speak for I can't speak for what they knew, but they obviously have a knowledge of what these things are and where they come from, and probably even what planet, dimension, galaxy, or whatever it is they're coming from, they're monitoring the frequencies of the Earth and seeing where the signals are getting stronger. And clearly, they monitored Pentyrch for 3 days and 3 nights, 2 planes taking it in turns, which, of course, there was no NOTAM for that or exercise listed for that. The MOD knew nothing about it either. And when we ask FOI requests for the planes, why were you circling, they tell us to go mind our own business by saying Section 26.
So was this the Americans then?
NATO were involved, which means the Americans were involved, yes.
So Section 26, is that restriction of information that the military can bring out to the public?
Yeah, it was a clause added to the Freedom of Information Act of 2000 in the United Kingdom, where people suddenly realized, oh, I can get access to information here. So they started asking various offices that were under public funding with the government, and because that's how you get this information. It's, it's public money, you got access to it. Like people started asking for UFO or secret military stuff, and the people working in the offices were just handing it out, And then I guess somebody in the office like, what the hell are they doing? We got to sort this out. This act is getting a little too dangerous for our classifications and secrets and all that. So they put in this clause called Section 26, which means there's an exemption they can use, not for public domain or not for public consumption, and this is what they do.
Ah, I see. Because I've seen Section 26 being brought up on other case files as well, and I'm going,
that's what it means.
That makes sense now. Oh God, they're crafty. So there's obviously, I don't really believe in coincidences anymore. What's been going on through my very short period of time through this week, trying to sort out this event, and it's just unbelievable. I mean, I sent a message saying this is a big case. This is because what we're planning to do for this show was to have like top 3 UFO sightings that happened in Wales, but this one I was going down such a deep rabbit hole, and it's so good that you better come on to give us like the fine-tuned details, because you've done such a
I wasn't expecting it, but
honestly, it's absolutely amazing. I don't want to keep you too long, but we would love to have you back again. Would it be possible if you be great if you'd be able to get Caz on the show, because we would love to speak to her if she's willing. I know she's probably got not.
I'll ask her.
I'll say I don't like no pressure, but it'd just be good to speak to her. But she'd probably just regurgitate or rehash what she's already said which I know kind of gets a bit frustrating for people to do. But anyway, it'd be amazing if we can get her on the show.
Well, all I can do is ask. Then I'll leave it to Caz Clark to make up her mind. But we'll see what happens. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Where can we find you for your information? Obviously, your YouTube channel.
Well, I was going to ask him to stay on because I want to add you to everything. I want to.
Okay.
So, because
can I sign out with you for a bit and stay in the stream? I'll just you two can carry on. Is that okay? Because I got to go and do something at the minute.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah. No worries at all. Yeah.
I want to give you credit. It'd be interesting. So.
Well, okay. Let me just stay in.
No, you can stay. Oh, okay. I don't know what to do now. You got me stoned. And
no, I was just gonna say I'll leave the studio, but I'll come back in 20, 30 minutes. Or are you gonna be on that long? Or
we'll come back in like 10 minutes or something like that.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Probably do like a final roundup, and that'll be amazing.
Yeah. Just I'm sure there's a few other things you'd want to talk about, like. I'll come back in about 10 minutes, right? I'll come back in about 10 minutes.
Fantastic. Right, awesome. I'll see you then, mate. That's awesome.
Right, nice one.
Sorry. Oh, he's gone. Sorry. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? I didn't expect that.
I
wish I was more prepared with questions, but yeah, this is honestly, guys, if you really look into the videos on this case, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, I truly believe in Caz's testimony, and especially other people as well. If you put the connections together, the dots together, you can see there's a massive operation going on. Whether or not it's a training exercise, which I don't believe at all. It's far beyond something, and for something that happened in 2016 doesn't get really brought up a lot, does it?
I know.
this gets brushed over. Is a bit like the Lonnie Zamora case, with the one we did in the last episode. Is immensely fascinating. It really is. Yeah. But what's your overall conclusions, Hidden? Because I want to try to find out what this craft actually is. What is this craft?
Well, it's kind of interesting because if I see, there's more questions that we gotta ask. There's a lot of questions because it seems to be. I don't know if it's two separate things working together. Because it's funny how I'm interested because I think me and him's on the same page and possibly you understanding how these things operate, that they would use the ley lines to use the electromagnetic energy to come into our realm, let's so to speak. Yeah. But this tetrahedron one, or let's say the whole event, to shut down the cameras, the satellite cameras.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird, man.
Oh, no, that's crazy. Is what happened to me is one of the most craziest sightings so far. I'm just going to tell you what, I'm just going to bring up a video of Caz
smoking a blunt. It's mind blowing, and it's such an also. I don't even know the guy's name. I want to put him in the description box, and I want to sort him out. That's why I was hoping he could stop on. But man, thank you.
Oh, thank you, man. That's much appreciated. That's very, very kind of you.
You know why this kind of pulled off so good, though, Nick. Oh, there it is. I got you. Finally got you up. Something's up, man. I think it went off so good because that was just unexpected. But I just got a good. When I saw how he wrote, I just got a feeling that let's have this guy on. Let's see if he'd be willing to come up. I'm glad he came up, man.
Oh, I'm glad too. Yeah, this is absolutely awesome. So, is he going to come back after the show, or are we going to? I can't remember what he said.
You asked him to come back in 10 minutes. So you 422.
This is it. If I knew he was going to come on, I went at 420. But yeah, one Saxon. Thank you so much, brother. That's much appreciated. Honestly, guys, people in chat, you've been amazing today. And
while we got 5 minutes, because I forgot last time to ask. I want to ask now, you guys out there that do this UFO community circuit, has anyone seen Renee? I managed to find Renee and write to Renee, but I'm just curious. thank you so much, Rotary.
Thank you, Rotary. Thank you, mate. But everyone's super sweet.
Bananas. Has any of you guys seen Renee? That's all, because I haven't been so much in the live show scenes, but I haven't seen it.
It's been. She hasn't been in my chat on Alien Addict's show. I'm
starting to feel the worst, man. I hope this person's okay.
I'm sure she's fine.
That's all.
Or he.
That's all, guys. You guys that do the circuit, just keep an eye out, man. Just keep an eye out. But it sometimes happens this way, We all go our ways, which is a shame.
Mate, people come and go. It's part of life. It depends on how you take it, isn't it? Really, when you look at it.
Because the thing is, you kind of see even people here when you do this for a while, you start and they become part of. You see them; they're like family, and then one's missing. When one's missing, and it's been a while, you only can fear the worst.
I suppose so.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? I fear the worst because I know Renee's all over the place. She's in she goes in Amy's. I'm pretty sure she's in Goof On.
Right.
I know she pops in here quite. She's on Third Phase. She's in quite a few of them. You guys, you know
Yeah.
though, and she has. I haven't seen her in nowhere.
Well, keep your eye out, everyone. Same for myself as well. If Renee, if you're watching, pop in and say hi.
If she was, she would say. Renee's the one that posts all these emojis.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Alien girl, yeah.
Yeah, she goes an alien girl.
She's called Good Morning UFO.
Oh yeah.
She's changed her name. Julie, I'd like to get Amy on at some point.
Me too.
Yeah, I'll reach out to her. I'll reach out. I've got to reach out to her.
See, I like when something, because isn't there a Congress meeting happen again?
There is a congressional hearing in September, apparently.
September. Let's see if we can get her on for that, so you and her can have your thoughts on it, and you get triggered more than once. See, this is what I mean, people.
I never get triggered. What are you talking about? Every time I see Brian Cox, I was like, beautiful person. A face like I don't want to slap. There we go. I love everybody.
Seriously.
No, seriously,
Let's get Amy on for September, man. That
okay.
See if she wants to do it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I've been on her show a couple of times. I just think at the moment, like everything's all fractured at the moment.
It's gonna be, mate. It's gonna be. It's always gonna be that way.
This is it. This is just a quick video I'm going to play before
you play it, because Garth, yeah, he's back anyways. Here, he's
back. Oh, that's right.
Garth, how do I say your name? Hello, you're up. I've not muted him. No. Hold on, let me get rid of this. The Men in Black and good stuff. Yeah.
Back to the Men in Black. Brian Cox. Yeah, he's God. Yeah.
You know that you keep on saying his name, he's going to be in the description box.
Yeah, he's probably. Yeah. I tell you what. Let's go plug. Guys. Say again.
Yeah, let's. What was she going to play this?
Let's do this.
The explosion. Later in the day, on the 26th,
the roadside, been on the common for years,
was Clentrison Common, an extensive piece of open land designated for public use. There were rumours online that troops had performed a metal search there.
And all the metal that had been on the common for years, old bikes, a couple of old fridges, were all neatly stacked on the roadside.
I didn't get why she said that at first. Now I get it. They were looking for fragments.
Whilst at the common, Clark claims to have spoken to a couple of dog walkers who clarified to her that there had been 2 explosions earlier that day, one in the air and a second on the ground. They claimed it had come from Clentrison Forest, a 600-acre woodland on the outskirts of the town, known locally as Smilog Woods.
Gone up to Smilog Woods, and because we knew the trajectory of the green object, it wasn't long before we found the debris trail. And there were 60-foot trees. This is forestry.
Say hello. Can you hear us?
Hello. I think I can hear you now.
Snapped as far as the eye could see. Branches lay left and right.
Just a quick question: can we get access into this woods by any chance?
Yeah, you can go up there. The burn marks are still on the trees.
What?
Oh, all right. Still to this day.
After 9.5 years.
Yeah. And the snap ones are still down on the floor some places as well.
Through all the elements. The burn. Yeah. Oh, can you pause it a second? Because you just led me into something else now. You remember the burn marks? She said they were white.
Yeah.
What do you think, looking at it, about the burn marks? Because it being white is. Do you think it could have been a high intensity light source? Maybe
no, it had to be I'm guessing microwave type of energy, because that's what a lot of researchers who have had a chance to sort of study these areas. Like there's a case in France in 1980, I think it's called the Transvaal Province case, a case I really do like, because a guy who was working in a farm country house said he was sort of like a janitor of sorts. He was keeping the place tidy for the people who would frequently visit there every couple of months. And he said he saw an oval-shaped thing land on the ground outside the farmland or the countryside house area. And then it got to the floor. The ground had been burnt. The grass around it had been singed. And what he discovered he called the police, who sent in a forensic team, and they did all the samples and took all the things back to the lab and tested it. And what they found is that the soil and the grass and the leaves on the trees had lost some of their chemical called chlorophyll, which is why the grass and the leaves are green. Which means they've lost some of the nutrients and chemicals in them. And that was caused, they said, by a microwave effect. And I've seen similar things said in other cases, and I do believe that this is something along them lines. But whatever's caused the heat on those trees had to have come from the craft that was shot down. It probably came in red hot and tried to take off again, I'm guessing. That's just what I'm guessing. And then it's just fallen dead on the floor.
You know, hearing these little crafts, do you think they were manned? Do you think there was something in them? Or there was more
I would say it was more like a
probe kind of situation.
Some sort of consciousness guiding them, or artificial. I wouldn't say artificial intelligence. I'm guessing this is more, well, yeah, like a conscious entity traveling in a craft, maybe. I mean, I don't know. You're better off asking Karen stuff like that, because she was there to see it firsthand, and she would describe that the insides of these crafts like they were moving around, but the sort of like the way it looked, it was like static TV kind of picture. You see those little white dots buzzing on a screen?
Yeah.
They were swirling around, and it looked alive, and it felt alive, and stuff like that. So I would say, yeah, it was probably a conscious being of sorts, just in a different form. So
it's amazing, these reoccurrence of these balls of light throughout history, isn't it? It's like Caz managed to see one like real close up. It's really incredible, really is. Has the wildlife been affected in that area still to this day? Was there any like birds?
I don't see any wildlife up in Smileog Woods, to be honest. But in terms of the Pentyrch fields, I mean, what I will say, my little story here, is that we had a couple of people from Blackwood, I believe, that wanted to have a look at the area. So we showed them around. And, we noticed, and they noticed, that the sheep didn't want to graze in the area for a while.
That specific
birds,
area.
It seems like spiders didn't want to build webs on the plants out there either, which sometimes they will do. But not in that particular area. And then, like I said, the plant life seemed to have died. It died on the tree where Caz had been affected, on the one side anyway. Where the red barrel was, watching from the gate, the leaves under that didn't grow tidy for at least a couple of years. You can see the radiation damage on that. The radiation damage done to the ball patch area, which is probably the most affected. And then, of course, you see the damage on the trees in Smileog. So
we lost you again, brother. You're saying something they don't want us to know, man. I'm telling you. No, you were dropping some lyrics there, man. It was like, quick, turn him off. Hot mic, hot mic.
Is it? Can you hear me now?
Gotcha.
We can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
This happens a lot. I check my equipment before I come on here, and every time I get into something goes off.
MOD.
I was gonna
GCHQ now. Hi, boys.
Yeah, we're on.
I'm having one for you.
Yeah. I was going to say the bit where Caz and Dave had the experience where they saw the triangular object. Is that behind Caz's property? Because I don't want to sort of hunt down the area. I don't want to trespass on people's property.
I'm not going to say, but it's in the neighborhood behind. It's in the neighborhood where she lives, but I'm not going to say where she lives. If that's weird.
That's fine.
Some people might try and fish information on that. So.
Yeah, because I wasn't too sure whether or not it's like a UFO hotspot, like UFOs investigators going there. But the thing is, you're trespassing. Like for instance, I'd love to go to crop circles, but you would need.
Well, the farmland area where it happened, it's obviously farmland, but public have a right of way there, to walk through it. You just got to respect it's not so much a written law, I guess, but when you go into a countryside, you should pick up your rubbish and you should clean up after you and respect the barriers of the farmers that they put up. Otherwise, they'll let you walk through there and have a look around and enjoy the countryside. But I'll say something about the farmer actually. After the book came out, when it finally came out, I think it was September 2023. Was it 2022? I don't know exactly. It's been out for a little while. But anyway, when it did come out, the farmer at that field decided to chop everything down. But he left the ball patch alone.
Interesting. All right. Was it not for?
Well, most of it anyway. He pulled up the willow, the bushes that had been affected and everything else. But he left a good little square of it alone. But the rest of it, he chopped all off. He'd never done that before. But then the book came out and he decided to do it.
So what's left remaining then of that area?
Oh, it's all grown back now.
It's all grown back. Okay.
Yeah, you can even see where the ball patch used to be, but it grows now. It's probably the most healthiest part of the field.
All right, so cured the problem.
It's stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is, like I said, it's an immensely fascinating case, and I really hope more information comes out later on in God knows how many years. It's going to take up to 70 years.
I was just going to say as well, the interesting thing about the military is that Dave in particular said he saw metal, scrap metal, old used cars, washing machines, things that have been on the Lantriston Common, which is a piece of land behind Royal Glamorgan Hospital, where we know the green object had been shot and then went flying off into Smilog. They were collecting all the metal. It's not even their job to do that. They can pick up their own rubbish, but whatever else was there, they should leave for the council or the property owner of the land to clean up. But they decided to do it themselves. So we often joke. I said, if you want your land cleared up, just ask the military to do an exercise on it, and they'll do it, and they'll come in. But but we asked them in a freedom of information question: why were you cleaning up all the metal? It's not your job to do that. And you know what they said? Go on, you'll guess it.
Section
26.
Unbelievable.
Told us to mind us our own. They say that national security applies when you're cleaning up rubbish on a flipping piece of land.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's an insane story, isn't it?
It's such an insane story. Just like an overall conclusion.
Sorry, I got a bit of a runny nose. Like I got a fever today.
No, that's right. So. It's all good. It's all good. I think as like an overall conclusion, as we're coming to 2.5 hours, I appreciate coming on the show to give us the insane details that really just helped the show out a lot.
And being able to answer some questions as well.
Exactly. If anyone's got any questions, I'll answer them. I mean, that's what I came on here for originally. I wasn't expecting to join in here. I was just going to help people in the chat while you two, did your thing. You mentioned, I did hear you mention about phone calls. There is an FOI that I put out for that. I didn't get whole messages. I didn't get whole recordings because that would cost money, and there's data protection under that as well. But I did get excerpts, like little tidbits here and there. They were talking about helicopters flying low and disturbing farmland and livestock, and that's another thing right there. They should have, warned people about that. So they never did.
The phone calls to who? Were people phoning the police?
Yeah, well, they dial 999 or 101 or 111, which is whatever numbers they've got now. Yeah, so they've got different numbers as well.
They should have those calls unlocked.
Well, the thing is, it's that when you call into the police, they obviously record your name, your address, and and what your problem is. There's a data protection thing about that because you can't identify the person making the call. But I mean, I've tried my best to get them, but unless you're the person making the call, then you can give them proof of your address and proof of your who you are as a person. They won't give it to you unless it's your own personal call.
I get that.
Rebecca says in chat, did you encounter any MIB, Men in Black? Or any
I didn't, but I know Caz has said that when she was driving home that night after attending Richard D. Hall's conference to tell the people in that room what she saw. Some car, do you see, what's his name? We got a name for him, actually. She was driving home with a friend, and he was a witness to many things as well. We got a name. I can't remember his name now. I know his real name, but we gave him another name, an anonymous name. What do we call him?
Call him Mr. X.
Oh, Stephen or Simon, I think we call it. Sorry, I can't think of the top of my head. I've had bloody migraines up for the last couple of months, and my head's all foggy in brain. But he was a witness to. He was driving Caz home, and he is a really good driver. And he saw how Caz was acting the following sunrise of that night. You know, they were all over the excited and said, "Oh, have you seen this? Have you seen that?" And he's commented on all that. And he took Caz to Richard D. Hall's thing and brought it back on the A470, and a car came up behind them at tremendous speed and tried knocking them off the road. And Caz has been threatened by military people. He had to step in to sort of tell him to back off because he was getting, and he even threatened Dave and his fam and his kid with a car crash, or Caz's family with a car crash. And we've all had our machines hacked. Their accounts. I mean, I had information early on that I know would have been great to this case, but it got lost because somehow my hard drives kept packing up on me, and they were brand new computers, some of them.
That's a recurring.
And I couldn't recover. I couldn't recover that much of it. I managed to recover some of the information, but a lot of it was lost.
Yeah,
just couldn't get it back. I mean, I've tried, and I mean, MIB personally, no, but I have had some funny, threatening messages from people claiming to be government sort of types, and I know Dave has had his WhatsApp pictures and messages taken, comments. Same with Caz, a few others. So there's been a scrubbing of the internet. I mean, I had links that worked once, and I can't get them to work now unless I go to Internet's Wayback Machine. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah,
Wayback Machine.
Yeah. You can enter the URL there, and it may have captured a screenshot or a sort of like what's the word they use? Just a little screenshot or a little image recovery of one of the website, what it looked like at the time. That's what that is, yeah. So that's a good resource to use, that one.
Okay. Well, I got one more final question for you. Is in regards of Caz, how is she taking the UFO community in open arms, or is she find that there's a bit of stigma behind it? I mean, what's her? Because she's quite late in the game when it comes to like ufology and what the community is like. I'm just really interested to see
how
Caz would be treated.
Sorry.
No, carry on.
Well, this is a bit of a mixed bag, actually.
If you don't mind me asking.
No, in terms of the UFO community, yeah, she's been very well received. You still get trolls and debunkers who are literally making it their life's work to attack her and slag her off every chance they get, just because they got nothing else. I think Caz might say, would say she's not. I don't know. She is a bloody good investigator and a good mind for this sort of thing. But she may say she's not really an investigator. She's just telling the world what she saw.
Yeah.
So
sure.
And presenting as much facts that she can.
I think in the early part she didn't want to come forward, but someone outed her. You know, a UFO group that I was once with. I won't bother saying the name because I don't want to give them any publicity. Already recourse here, but you know, they outed her, and I was like. I said, well, the only thing you really could do now, Caz, is go public. I mean, I know you don't want to, but you've got to protect yourself a little bit here. And the more light on you there is, you know, people can see you and hear you, then the less maybe that they'll want to try anything silly.
Yeah. This is it. When it comes to UFO community, it's very fractured, and you will get the occasional dickheads.
I do want to say this also. There were some big names that were contacted before I got myself involved in this. There were other names who were offered this, and there are big names in the UFO community. You know who they are. There's some of the big names in Britain, and they didn't want to know.
Really? Huh. Yeah. Now they're probably changing their decision on that one.
Oh, probably not, because some of these guys are cash orientated. So if the money's right, let's not look there.
This is it, mate. It's ufology is a business, is an industry, and it's also entertainment, but there is truth to it. And you got to look at Caz's cases, and her testimony is I couldn't believe it, how I haven't found how incredible this sighting is. I think it's one of the best
case
ones
in the
in
world.
England. But yeah,
No,
it really is.
I would go further than that. It's better than England. Best. It's up there. This should be up there. Like, I mean, this should be up there as in world sightings.
Yeah.
Because you got a lot of things going on.
Well, a lot of people like yourselves who just see what's been done. They put it up there with the Roswells and the Rendleshams. They even stick it above that. That's not me saying that. That's the public.
I hate
public
to say
consensus of it all.
Me and Nick was having a talk before the show, and I said, and I did put it above Roswell. I did.
Yeah.
Because I said, why the hell does Roswell get so much attention? What is this? Look at this one here. This is an insane story. What blew my mind was the helicopter, because there's eyewitnesses seeing this helicopter going off, firing the cockpit.
Yeah, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. But yeah, as we're gonna bring it into the show, where can we find you one last time, or all your information?
But I will put links in the description box.
Yeah, there's a channel. Look, when you're searching on YouTube, right, there's a filter box over on the right that says you can look for videos, channels, people. You select channel and type in Pentyrch Incident. You'll find our channel. It's got quite a lot of, if not all of our information on there. More or less every presentation we've done, or podcast we've ever discussed with, other interviews which we've added in the playlists. It's all there. Pentyrch Incident channel. Or type in Pentyrch Incident channel. But the best way for people to find us, and it's always been the best way, is we have our channel.
Just check the link in the box.
Yeah, I'll put the link in the box. I'll give you the link anyway, and they can go about it themselves.
Nick,
but I know some people.
Private chat. Put that in a private chat for me. Sorry to interrupt.
I can do it myself. Right. Let me just. Go on.
Nick's got the link. Nick's got the link.
There you go. I got the link.
There
we go. Yeah.
What, to the channel, is it? Yeah. That's the one, yeah.
To the channel. Yeah. So yeah, guys, go check it out. Links in the description and obviously in chat right here, so you can go check it out for yourself on this immensely fascinating case.
If you check the logo, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. If you check the logo, you highlight that. There's the email address of Caz where you can contact there. So you see it in the white little circle with the black writing in there. That's where you can find it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to get in contact with Caz and ask for an interview. It would be amazing. But yeah, this immensely fascinating case, and much appreciated for you coming on the show. It's been absolutely awesome. And yeah, we'll have you back at some point. If anything new revelation comes along, I'll be glad to hear it. But yeah, much appreciated. Thank you.
Cool.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
And Nick, what's happening with you on Friday?
Yeah, on Friday I will be talking about something on Alien Addicts that I have no idea. I haven't planned to show yet. So yeah, just follow me on Alien Addicts on Friday. I'm sure I'll figure out something. But yeah,
links in the description box, guys. And that's it. As you know, for me, man, it is what it is. And I hope did you guys check out my latest shorts? Did you see that one?
I did see it, yeah.
The guy frozen in time.
Yeah. Yeah, very good video.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Very funny. But anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for getting stoned with me, those of you that did. Gotta say thank you to our guest. How do you pronounce your name?
Gary
Jones. Okay. Gotta say big up to Gary Jones, man, and the investigation and the questions that he came to answer. Thank you so much, man. I mean,
pleasure. I wasn't expecting it, but it was a good surprise.
Neither were we. So, guys, that's how it goes, man. That's how it goes. It's an unexpected show here, and wow, this was really a good turn up. So yeah, and hopefully look into the future, because I'd love to have you on again. I'd love to cover it more, and love to have Caz on as well. Have both of you on, because I think it would be great to hear, because many things were brought up, like especially how this thing talked, like you said, through her mind's eye. She had a vision of what this thing was, She could see inside, and look, that would be interesting to hear, man. So, yes, thank you very much. So, good night, all. And yeah, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say, because I haven't said it in a long time. Until next time, stay blessed and keep safe. And now we're out of here.
See you.
Bye-bye.
All the best.
Sure.
Thanks,
Thank
Sophia.
you.
Cheers.
Thank you, Sophie. I'm going to leave that up, man. Thank you so much. And look, man, I forgot. Thank you all. Thank you all as well. Thank you, mods. I know there's many of you. Thank you guys that gave donations. Thank you so much. It is much appreciated as always. So now I can end it. Have I got everyone? Did I get everyone?
Yeah, thank you, Sophia, Rotary Matrix, One True Saxon, and Hens 73. Call you 73. Thank you so much for the donations. It's much appreciated. We'll see you next time.
For there is nothing hidden that will not be revealed, and nothing concealed that will not be known and illuminated. Stay blessed and keep safe. This is the hidden underbelly. Stay blessed and keep safe.